Hello, and welcome to another episode of I Got Gameplay. Yes, it's me. It's that person celebrating 100 years, or should I say 100 episodes. It is Michael Burhan, and today we have the most awesome special guest. Of course, we have not one but two special guests. So let's bring our first guest. He is from the Happy Console Gamer, has his own channel, Robman World, does streaming on Twitch, and has just currently appeared as a wild Robman out of nowhere from the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I nearly screwed that one up. He is Robman.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Good. And Rob, I basically did promise you a special guest, so I'm going to add this person on now. He is your co-host from the Happy Console Gamer YouTube channel and your best buddy in the whole wide world. He is Monsieur Millenium.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You podcaster.
Fuck. So here I am. It's so funny. I'm playing with my butterfly knife that I'm so happy I was able to bring back from Portland, and they didn't find in my suitcase.
Oh my god.
You sneaky man.
You just hide it under like all
Living dangerously.
I know. Well, happy 100th. I've missed the 99 episodes before this one, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I've been pestering you like from the get-go to come on the show, and I'm glad you have some free time to actually be on here, Johnny. It's as I was saying to you on our Facebook chat, this means a lot to me, and having both you guys on the show and finally getting like the kind of the Happy Console Gamer team together in a sense, because if it wasn't for you guys, there would basically I Got Gameplay would never have happened. My YouTube channel, Nerd Genius, everything about myself, not even me going out and getting my degree, is basically because of a little film that you guys did, the Happy Console Gamer movie, and it kind of was one of those things that motivated me to get up, to get going, to get moving. And because of that, there's all this, this amazing effort's happened. We're on 100 episodes now, and it's a great thing that I can actually thank you both live and in person. And it really shows how much the both of you mean to me. The fact is, you've got an awesome channel. You're like one of the most positive influences out there. Both of you guys are. Rob, you've been like a huge influence in my life. As someone who's like part of your Buff Brothers, someone who so happy to call you a part of my family, and you, Johnny, you've had so much faith in me as well that you made me like
I'm like the father, though. You understand that, right?
Yes, I know. You're like without you and the Happy Console Game, I'll never have met Xander, who's like a freaking permanent fixture here. Through Xander, I'll never met Sarah. Through like Sarah, I'll never met like other guys like Nick from my YouTube channel, and Jamie, of course, here as well from Twitter. It's amazing how the family's expanded, and it all started because of you guys and the amazing kind of influence you've had on me. And I want to say a great big thank you, and I really mean it from the bottom of my heart.
So that kind of makes me the godfather. Then I feel better about that. No, I'm
It
just
does.
kidding. Congratulations. But I gotta say, when did you start? Because you did 100 episodes. Like, when did these all happen?
Basically, the I Got Gameplay started off as it was through like a pet project. I started doing a show after I finished university because I wanted to like get myself out there a little bit more and try something new. And mainly I was doing like theatre and TV work and stuff like that. And a friend of mine approached me and said, "Hey, look, we've got a podcast called Smark Out Moment, and this podcast is about wrestling and stuff like that." And then eventually it led to him saying, "Hey, I've got this thing, it's called I Got Gameplay. It's a YouTube channel, the guys don't use it." And I was like, "Well, we could turn it into a podcast." This was in the middle of me like watching your shows and stuff, and I was like, we could do this. And before this site debuted, I debuted the very first episode of I Got Gameplay, and I believe it was in June 2011.
really.
Yeah, and it's it became a kind of a mainstay. The hosts have changed. because people have come and gone, personal lives and such, and joining other networks and bits and pieces, but the show still continued, and it still continued because there's a huge passion there for gaming, and it's one of the kind of the influences that I got from your channel at the same stance. It's basically, I talk about stuff I'm passionate about. If it means a lot to me, if there's a story behind it, if there's something like a journey that I want revisited, we about it. And it's the very first show I think we did, which was Suda51. We did it as a 2-part special, and we talked about his games and the influence that he's had in the gaming industry, and similar to in one of the core titles on the Nintendo Wii, with the No More Heroes, which I love that game so much. And
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great, and then the great thing as well is, with that show, it kind of progressed and progressed and progressed, and now here we are at 100 episodes, going on strong, ladies and gents, for each and every one of you out there, and it's great, and the funny thing is, Rob and Xander actually got involved at the same time. Rob, through I think it was through you, Xander, wasn't it, that I actually managed to get a hold of Rob.
Yeah, because I was on episode 38, and right after that, we were talking, and Robman he was the first guest on Access Gaming Podcast, and you were just like, yeah, I really like to get Rob on the show, and I'm like, well, just message him.
Just talk to him.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
I know it's a horribly impossible thing to do, to get a hold of me, because I'm so lofty, aloof, and very celebrity-like, and usually I have to go through 8 layers of my people and my agent.
It's true.
But
I can agree with that.
But and even then, I'm very careful about who I would speak to, because most humans are beneath me. But no, no, man, seriously, just throw me a message. Anybody, anytime, throw me a message. How's it going? I mean, people have been like, "Hey, do you want to be on my dog food podcast?" Absolutely, I do, because I love dog food. I love to eat it. I love to bathe in it. I would love to be on your dog food podcast, please. Now, Michael, I have to call you to accounts for something here.
Okay.
When you told me that you were going to have an extra special guest, the hint you gave me was it's someone who's a big fan of yours. That is an outfaced lie.
Oh, that's an absolute lie. He's lying. He's lying.
That's absolutely like. If you had said it's somebody that wants to see me rolled in a carpet and thrown off a bridge, I would have known you meant. But when you said someone's a fan, that's just a lie.
I've kind of misread the relationship here.
He's lying.
You absolutely have. It's a master-slave relationship. I do what I'm told or I am beaten. It's a very good one, but it's the way it works.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're trained very well.
Rob, I think it's the other way around. I'm the master slave of it all. I do believe. I really think so. Oh.
That's what I'm saying. You're the master and I'm the slave. You tell me to do things and I do them or I get beaten.
No, it's the other way around.
How am I the master?
It's an illusion, because you come over, as you know, you're the talent. You come over, you say a few words, and then, you say a few words, you get back in your limo, you take off back, and I sit here in the darkness, toiling, doing it all. Who's the master slave here? I'm serious.
I want this. I want a physical recording of this for future use, because that's the only time he will ever say that in public.
Well, I remember.
Especially the part where he said that I'm the talent.
I know. Yeah. Hey, I always say that. Okay. But it's funny that in the Halloween special, we can't talk about it until I hope it's up tomorrow. I got to go and do a bit more work on it tonight. Rob, I'm still working with Kyle on it.
But a steak man tonight. Shit.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think everybody will enjoy the relationship that me and Rob have in this Halloween special. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
I think that's the best I can say.
Sounds good.
It is absolutely. It is indicative of our friendship and how it has always been. It's amazing that way.
It's amazing. It really is.
Well, speaking of...
I can't... I think... Go for it, Mike.
Well, speaking of the fact that I was basically going to say that the show kind of has a subcategory of gaming moments, what was like the biggest moment in your relationship with the two of you? Because I know you've told loads of stories on the Happy Console Gamer channel about you guys and kind of your eventual meeting and stuff. wasn't there like one big polarizing moment that kind of went, yeah, that guy's alright?
I think it was the night that we had sex. It was like we drank a lot of beer, and Rob, I don't know what it was in the haze. We were smoking a lot, and out of the haze, I saw this guy then with hair, and it's just
Oh,
that was the moment.
Heard that saxophone music playing in the background as my slight wobbly beer belly wiggled towards him with my
You
pale
didn't have a
flesh.
beer belly then. I'm not attracted to you now as I was then. I'll say.
and he was unable to resist my charms.
No, but hey, Rob, yeah, I couldn't
God.
resist. But what I would say, wouldn't you say that for me and you, I think the moment was when we were sitting down and you brought over your Nintendo and we would put on The Legend of Zelda and we both had a beer and we both went, oh God, is this ever? Oh man, the memories. And I think it was a kindred spirit. It was just somebody that I was like, wow, somebody else is an idiot like me. It was like, it felt fantastic. Like somebody else, I'm not alone, It was cool.
This is very true. We hung out a few times prior to this, but it was one of the first times we were hanging out in the evening, and we were having some beers and a couple cigarettes and whatever. And then, you put on the game, and then we were playing, and we put the controller down and just let the music play. And both of us just sort of wandered off into this haze of nostalgia, and then we both realized, hey, he's doing it too. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It was the first of what we have called our nostalgia nights, and we've tried to plan them, and they never work that way. It's just some night randomly you'll pull out an old game, you'll be drinking, and you'll be in just the right mood. It's just the right level of alcohol, the right feeling in your soul, and all of a sudden you'll just start waxing nostalgic over these games, and you'll play the music, and you'll play a couple of levels and pass the controller back and talk about where you were in your life when you first played it and how amazing those times were, and it becomes this life-changing event. It's unbelievable. And I think you're right, John. That was the first one.
Yeah. That was it. And also that we bonded over anime. I thought you came over that time and it was just like you were interested and I was really into it. And it was really cool for me to be able to share a lot of the stuff. It's not, having a bunch of stuff doesn't matter, but when you can share it with a friend, that's pretty cool. And they're like they're appreciative and they're like, this is cool. I want to see all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, let's watch all this stuff, and we did. And
man,
that's a whole other thing as well. Yeah,
opened my eyes to so many awesome shows. Legends of
the Galactic Heroes is still a big fan.
Yes, and then there was something called Macross, I think.
Yeah,
it's called
Across Frontier.
Wait, wait, that's not Robotech. I'm just kidding with you guys.
God.
I'm just kidding with you guys.
Captain Tyler was one of the first ones as well, and Gundam 0080, War on the Pocket. Just so many. It's called War on the Pocket. Why are you laughing?
It's War in the Pocket 0080. It's funny, when Hansa was here, he had like a couple of weeks left, and he's like, I said, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to watch this anime, and this anime. And it was like Gundam 0080. And Rob, we sat down one afternoon, and we watched all of 0080. It was awesome. It's fucking great.
Oh,
then we watched
man.
Max Plus. Yeah, it was really kind of cool to sit and watch anime again. And me and Kim had a couple weekends ago where we watched all the Fatal Fury stuff. It was great. It's nice to be able to do that again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I remember when you first lent me Irresponsible Captain Tyler, and it's 26 episodes at half an hour apiece, and I literally sat in front of my TV 15 hours straight and all of it in one go.
Isn't that such a good feeling, though?
Yeah.
Well, and it was a bunch of copied fan subtitled cassette tapes back in the old days for us gray-haired grandpas. Remember cassette tapes? But he handed me this stack of video cassettes and said, okay, watch this and come back when you're finished and we'll talk a little more about anime. This will get your whistle wet. And I brought it home and I came back the next day and I just put the tapes, I handed him and he said, what? I said, I'm done. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, I watched it all in straight go. It's amazing. And he just couldn't believe it. He's like, well, okay, we'll watch these ones. And I took them home and I brought them back the next day. Here you go, I'm done.
We just kept going like that for a long time, for sure. It's funny, Rob. You brought a lot of games to my that I hadn't discovered per se. And I think that we were really giving each other a lot of back and forth. I remember when he brought over Bomberman. That was a legendary experience. I was like, I knew what Bomberman was, but I didn't experience Bomberman until we hung out. I was like, holy shit, this is huge. It's such an intense game.
And then I remember several an evening at your place, including, I think, 1 or 2 New Year's Eves where you had a whole bunch of your friends, like Mr. Watson, and I believe that Swagger was there, and a few others.
Yeah.
We just had a round robin going.
We would play Bomberman for like 3 or 4 hours, and everybody just take turns, and we would just keep doing it over and over. It was so good, so addicting.
Oh, man. Yeah. And, of course, if you weren't playing, you were drinking, and if you were playing, you were still drinking, so it was good.
Hey, Rob, you got to tell him, on my bachelor party, Rob brought over Bomberman and the multi-tap and all that, and we had a table set up in my place just for Bomberman playing all night, and people were on it all night. It was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
That's an awesome way to
Super
spend your bachelor
Bomberman
night.
2. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
That's an awesome way to spend your bachelor night. And by the way, I've got a question for you after this, because one of our lovely fans here basically wanted to ask you a nice little quick question for the two of you.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
Roll it out. What do we got?
okay. David Haffey says, has Robman and Johnny ever gotten into a serious fight over anything?
Oh, fuck. I don't think we'll get into it, but we had a disagreement quite a few years ago where we didn't talk for a few years, and it was really hard for me and Rob during that time. We didn't like how it happened, and all we'll say is that we had a sit down years later. We met up again, and we kind of had a criteria of like, let's never let this happen again, no matter what. And because it was very close to never talking again. It really was.
Because I've had
Was
fights
that?
was it over Xander? Because I've had fights over Xander all the time.
Yes, of course it was. It was a time warp story. I'm walking down the street and I'm going through this temporal vortex and I see Xander and I get suddenly angry and no, I don't know. I can't, but no. It was just over something so stupid. It's so dumb that I won't even talk about it because it's so dumb. You know what I mean? It's really that dumb.
And people, an important life lesson to learn from our fail is this. The biggest fights you will ever have in your life will be over the most stupid things. And if you step back and really look at it, you'll have to shake your head and go, why the hell were we that angry over that? I mean, it's not like it was about world peace or nuclear weapons. It was something really stupid. And years later, we look at it and we laugh now because we were idiots. So don't let important friendships end.
Yeah. And Rob, what's funny? There's a few systems and things that we weren't around for, and I'm like, I'm kicking myself now going, man, I wish we were hanging out then so we could have experienced that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm mad. I'm mad about a few of those years. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at both of us that we let that kind of go by. It's so stupid.
I know. Yeah. It's so heartbreaking. But we did a lot of catching up over the years. So.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I've got another question for you, Rob, man, from Cramp tonight. He asks, do you even lift? Because he's looking a little puny these days.
Tell you what, Cramp, tonight, the most lifting I do is with my massive 12-inch cock. But if you want to come over and find out, you're welcome to come on over. And Cramp tonight, yes, I'm going to start streaming again soon. So, you can just insult me in person next time. No, I did fall off the wagon for quite a while, but I'm back on it now, and I am going to get back into getting my pomp off.
There's another one from David Haffey. He says, life after high school, how did you guys manage to afford your games and whatnot?
Oh, very, very. We would penny pinch our money together it was ridiculous. But you know how it is, and Robbie can definitely chime in here. We wouldn't get games every day. We got a game every 4 months, and we rented a lot. Hey, Rob, remember that? We rented a lot.
Oh, dude, renting was the number one way, and if a game really blew our minds, we found a way to follow the 3-step program of beg, borrow, and steal in order to get it. But for the most part, it was rentals. and playing games that we already had, or of course the fact that I got my dad addicted to the Sega Saturn helped us quite a lot with that system.
Hey, I loved it when you said in the panel, it's just a waiting game. It's funny, man. I like that. It's
All right, well,
funny.
that's when in the next couple of weeks, the entire panel that we had in Portland was recorded, and Johnny's going to get that up on the Happy Console Gamer channel. You guys have to check it out. It was amazing with Alpha, Omega, Sin, and Johnny and I. It was just such an energetic panel.
Great
Like, the
energy.
crowd there was so good, and yeah, there's some funny moments, and that's one of the best. But you guys have to check it out. I don't want to ruin it for you.
We had the entire crowd chanting. I mean, that was unbelievable. I've never been a part of anything like that. It was really something else. It was really something special. You know, definitely a highlight of my life so far. Sorry, what's that?
I'll say you guys are famous now, I guess.
You know
Anything
what
about
was really weird, Rob? I'll say the story. You can chime in again as well. Is that we walk out of the panel, and I did a panel last year. Walked out of the panel, and there's this table set up for us, and I'm like, "What the hell is this table?" And even Alpha Mega Sense looked at me, he's like, "What is this?" And we all have like name plaques. And we're like, "What is this? We have name plaques?" And then there's like, yeah, I know there's water set up and there's pens, and I'm like, what is this? And as soon as I said that, I looked down, and all the way down the hallway was a lineup of people, and around the corner to see us and to get stuff signed. I'm like, what? We're doing a signing? Like, when the hell did this happen? And I was like, I was so hot off with it. Sorry, go on.
I walked out that door and I didn't see the table. I just saw this big crowd of people, and then I sort of glanced at the table and went, something good's going down. So I started running down to the other end of the line. And the lady that, remember, John, the lady that was like the security lady there? She grabs my arm and she goes, where do you think you're going? And I said, I'm going to go find out what this is for. And she said, no, you can't go down there. I said, what do you mean I can't go? I'm not allowed to get in line for this? And she said, no, you can't go down there because you have to sit at the table because these people want your autograph. And I just about crapped my pants. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to sound like not to sound funny, but I was kind of Rob, you can talk about your feeling. For me, and I'm meaning it in the most humble way, I felt embarrassed. I was like, these people want to get, they want me to sign stuff? Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? I was thinking, like really? And I couldn't, it was so hard for me to wrap. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting at the table, and these people coming up, and it was like, and it was so awesome. It was just, wow. Yeah, something else. Didn't expect that.
Well, we've got another question for you guys here from Media One Okraman. It says, hey, Johnny and Rob, I just want to say I love your work. Before you got successful, by the way, with the channel, was there any time that you felt like you just wanted to give up and quit?
Yeah. When I was making the movie. I almost just said, I can't do this. I punched a hole in my wall, in my door, and I was just like, I can't do this. I'm like, I'm over my head. I'm like way over my head, and nobody was helping me. I mean, like, it was great. People showed up for acting scenes, and they go home, and I had this mess of a timeline that was so complicated, and it was so on the verge of failing that I might not be able to recover bits. And my computer, I was like, can my computer even handle this? I mean, it was really nerve-wracking, and I was doing the podcast every week, and I was trying to do the show all the time, and I mean, like, it was way too much. I mean, that's when I stopped doing the All-Gen Gamers podcast, because something had to go, and it had to be that. And I even rushed the movie at the end a little bit because I had to get finished, because I had to leave it. I was so going insane. So, yeah, I don't know if you had a moment, Rob, but that was mine. Maybe when you had kids.
There were a couple of times after the kids showed up where I was just thinking to myself, I'm never gonna be doing the show again. It's insane. This thing called sleep that people talk about and enjoy so much, I don't get, and I didn't think I'd be able to carry on. But of course, as we all do, we carry on. We have the kids. We get used to it. You get into the rhythm. You get settled, and then that's when we really started doing, as we've talked about a few times. We used to film. We'd film an episode, 2 episodes, And that'd be fine when we got together and then we hang out and whatever. That's when we got into the practice of I would bring about 8 or 9 different t-shirts over and we'd film like 8 or 9 episodes in a row. And yes, people, this has happened. That's why we're always wearing different shirts. It's not a different day. We change shirts to give that wonderful illusion. But we'll like binge film a ton of episodes and then John can take his time editing them together and putting them together and putting them out. But it's rare, so rare that we get the chance to get together like that now, like every couple months if we're lucky.
Yeah, but the funny thing is we have so much energy when we get together. It's like, I mean, it's surprising. I'm like, what are we on? And we don't do any drugs or any. It was just like, yeah, let's rock. And we don't have a script. We're like, okay, let's talk about our favorite consoles. I'm like, what's your favorite console? And I said, go get one. Because I have them all here too, and I'll grab my one. And we'll show each other and we'll talk about it. And we just do, and it's really natural. And I think it's really good that we don't script it. I think sometimes we like let's talk about this bit and let's talk about that bit, but we don't have a full script down, and it's very natural. It's very very good. Yeah, but it's funny how much energy we have. Sorry, go on. Say that again.
I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well. It's just because you just play off each other and you don't really script anything. You just talk about it.
I found when I have scripted things, it's not worked for me at all, and I just kind of come to realize that don't script anything because I sound phony, and it's better if I'm just talking off the top of my head. It works way better.
Well, I'm a huge fan of improv, so I understand totally where you're coming from on that one.
You do too.
Well, we got another question here. KH Maggot 67 says. Well, how's it going, Robert and Johnny? Has there ever been a game that you love so much, but you've never been able to beat due to difficulty?
Oh, God. I was thinking about one the other day, actually. Oh, God, what was it? Crap. Johnny, you have one that you can think of?
No. The only thing I can think of is I've started Final Fantasy 12 like at least 4 times. I get to a point and I just stop, and I don't know what do you think, Xander? Like, for me, I don't think it's like, it's not because it's hard. It's just because I lose focus and I just, like, this game it's so intense. There's so much stuff I need to do. And I just, like, I get exhausted by it, and I haven't even done it.
It's got so much stuff that's, like, crazy going on, but nothing actually grabs you.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. That's a really good way to say it. You're right about that.
I remember actually, it wasn't myself, but when Tamara was playing Grandia 3, was that the one that was done by Square Enix?
Oh,
yeah. It's Grandia 3, the one that. Okay, and you play along, you do your level grinding, you do your whatever, but you get to this one point, I think it's about just over halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way through the game.
Some forest with poison mushrooms.
And the difficulty just jumps from like about an 8 to a 3,000. And no matter how much you grind, like you would have to run back and forth and grind for like 3 days straight just to be able to put this boss. It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know, I'd have to try it again to see if it's as hard as I found it at the time, but it was, I got mad at it.
It's a grind fest. It's insane. Yeah.
Well, the rest of the Grandia series was never like that, though, because those ones you could always, if you fought all the enemies in an area and in a dungeon.
I finished the other ones, no problem, but this one I just got to that point and I was like, screw this!
Yeah. And I'm having a bit of trouble with Bravely Default, but that's due to something else. I will get back to it, but I kind of hit a wall on that one. So.
Same.
I understand that totally. When it comes to some games, you have to take a break from them because they just find things like extremely daunting at times, especially when you just feel like throwing the pad at the wall. You don't want to like cost yourself a pad or two. David Haffey asked, do you guys still feel passion for gaming like before? I know recently pure sequels and not too much of anything fresh. What's it like being a gamer from the beginning until now?
It's great. It's great. If you live in the past, you'll be all annoyed. But if you enjoy the past and enjoy the present, you'll be a really happy person. But I think, Rob, that would be your take too. Like I love modern day gaming. Do I miss that they don't make some games anymore? Yes, but I'm over it. You know what I mean? So, what do you think,
Agreed.
Rob?
I agree entirely. And to just sort of augment or add to that, we still get back in the day. We forget that it was between between a lot of the big title games that we now reminisce about. I mean, between Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, there was a heck of a stretch between, a lot of the sequels that we enjoyed or a lot of the A-class titles we enjoyed back then. There wasn't as much filler in between because there wasn't such a glut of games. But even now, I mean, for me, Destiny has been stellar, and we've got The Evil Within that I'm dying to play, and there's, the guys who have studios to make smaller things like Lost Odyssey, games like that are still gems that are definitely like us, and they still can bring that excitement and passion back, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I was playing Bayonetta 2 today, and I'm going to go sometime this week of playing it, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I started playing that. I started playing that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I haven't played the first one yet. I started a little while ago, but if it's that good, I'll have to scrape together pennies and try and pick up the 2-pack for the Wii U.
Yeah.
I started playing the second one.
Okay, let's go with Xander
Go for it,
first
Xander.
and Johnny second.
Xander, go for it.
I think I have some mic delay, but no, I started playing the second one before the podcast, and it's fantastic. It's so good. It's fun to play a game that's just fun. There's not too much craziness. It's just hack and slash goodness.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Johnny, there's a question for you here from Cram Tonight, who says, Johnny, when are you bringing back the sweet bandana?
Yeah. I'll bring back the sweet bandana when I grow my bangs again, and I have purple hair and super long hair. No, the bandana is a time. Rob can attest. It's from a different time. It was a time when I was a smoker, and those days are like long gone. So that's about 6.5 years late, unfortunately. So yeah, no bandana. But it's funny when I go to do profile pictures or anything like that. It'll always be a bandana on. It's like a classic throwback, but part of a different time, sadly.
Let me shoot you guys a question here as well. For two of the most kind of positive influences in the gaming industry, because I know you guys, when you started the Happy Console Gamer channel, Johnny, it was like you talking about your nostalgia. What made you decide to kind of bring Rob on board and make it a twosome?
Oh, it's funny. I talked about it in the panel that we did. Is that I was doing it and I felt okay at it. I didn't feel 100%. I didn't know what formula to do the show in yet, and I'll just do it. And eventually I'll figure it out. But I was on my own at that point, and then I was like, oh well, you know what? I'll go get Rob's Mega Man collection. We'll do an episode on that. And I went over, and Rob was so natural, and he enjoyed being in front of the camera so much. It made me feel a lot more. Oh, good! I don't have to talk as much. And back then, because I was so nervous, and he did such a good job. It was like, yeah, then there just became a moment, I think, when we did the Blue Stinger review, and that's kind of the first initial, me and Rob hanging out, doing that kind of just talking from our, from our asses in a sense of what our memories of those games, and it worked so well. I was like, this is pretty good. But the funny thing is, I always looked at Rob as being so confident in front of the camera, but then I would do the show for the next bunch of years, and Rob would come on every once in a while as well, but. There came a time when Rob was coming over to do some reviews, and I said, okay, I set all the camera stuff up. I said, okay, I'm going to leave the room. You just record. And he starts, and he's having a hard time, because sometimes, when you're in front of a camera, you're messing up your words. You can't get the things out right. You just have an initial. And he starts yelling at me going, how do you do it so well these days? And I just thought, wow, we've come full circle. That I'm so confident now that he's needing to feed off my energy. And I thought that was really fascinating, for me being so nervous doing the show to becoming a lot more confident. What would you say, Rob?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that if I was ever on the show, it was with you. And so when I did that Mega Man Classic Series review, I think that was one of the first I did entirely by myself. And yeah, I had a lot of trouble getting into the headspace of doing it alone, because often we bounce off each other, and then if one is about to falter, the other one just sort of naturally swings in and picks up, so it just gets so flawless. But on your own, there's no one there to catch it. So if you start to really go off the rails, you're screwed, and you got to start over and kind of.
Yeah, Xander could understand this because he does a pretty much a one-man show, as well as that. I find it's very interesting, Rob, because there's a fine line between just giving information and also being entertaining, and that's either being funny or saying a funny story, and it's really it's a real art form that I enjoy now. That I enjoy doing it. It's like when I do a new Game Stuff episode, I'm really conscious of making it entertaining and being funny, but getting information out. It's really you don't do enough single episodes. You know what I mean? Well, it's funny when we think about that.
I think I hit my stride on those though when we did the Tombs and Treasures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
because that's when I started to really kind of relax into it, like you do, and then just little nuggets of information that I found kind of funny would just pop out, and they worked. They the culturally sensitive '80s and naming the Mexican guy Jose, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
And it just sort of. So I know where you come from now, but it does take a while before you can find that space in your head, and it took me quite a while. With two people, I was always way more comfortable. By myself, it took some time.
Yeah, because you
I had so much time doing the show. Sorry, go for it.
You had the other person kind of pick up the slack a little bit. I can understand when it comes to stuff like that, because when you've got more of a kind of an eclectic cast, you've got people that can always pick up the ball when someone kind of drops it. When you're on your own, you're like, crap. Unless I'm good at editing, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
You have to go
go ahead, John.
We always have mic delay here because I think there's a few of us here. So I forget what I was going to say. Can't remember.
Well, here's another little question here for Rob. David Haffey asks, Rob, what's it like in Japan? It's always been a dream of mine to go. What's the gaming culture like compared to the United States?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. I cannot lie. I've been 3 times now. My wife has been with me twice. I still remember, I think for the pure, young single guy gamer experience was the first trip for me that was just, again, back when I smoked, and I drank and everything else. There's no public drinking laws there. There's vending machines full of cigarettes and beer everywhere. And no matter where you want to go, you can find those things. And gaming culture there is, it certainly was at that time a lot more open than it was here. Over the years, North America has started to catch up, but it's still very different there. Like Akihabara is the place. It's basically like the pilgrimage to the promised land that each gamer should make in their life, because they have everything there: anime, gaming, soundtracks, like everything you could ever want. And it's this massive chunk of Tokyo that's all electronics and gaming shops. So that first experience there was walking out of the train station by myself and looking around. And there were it was a Saturday, so they had all the girls in the little skimpy outfits doing all the demos for the electronics and trying to get everyone's attention and yelling and shouting. And there was a tobacco company promotion that day, so they were just handing out free packages of cigarettes to everybody. And I got a couple of beers out of the vending machine. I found a store that had a different on each floor, so it was like a 7 or 8 story store. And like the ground floor was Famicom, the next floor was Master System, the next floor was Mega Drive, the next floor was Super Famicom, the next floor was the PC Engine, the next floor was the Neo Geo, like all the way up. And it was just mind-blowing. And then I found a store that was just dedicated to gaming soundtracks in all of the various forms, be it the remixes and the special editions or the original game soundtracks, or arranged versions as they are known. Yeah, it's just incredible. I highly recommend, if it's been a dream to go. Find a way, save up the money. Make sure you have someone that either you have a friend that lives over there that can guide you around, or someone who speaks a lot of language or take some language lessons yourself before you go. I had my brother and sister there the first couple of times. And actually my brother was there on the 3rd trip as well. And we stayed with him. So very handy, but yes, it is amazing.
Here's another question for the both of you here. Brandon Mueller asks, Johnny and Robman, what's your favourite RPG series? And Johnny, you can't pick ease.
Fantasy Star. That was easy.
Yeah.
Like, next question.
Shadow Hearts. Shadow Hearts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
KH Maggot 67 says, does Johnny and Rob have a PO box for fan mail or gifts?
You know what's funny? Our PO box got closed down because our post office that I would normally go to closed down and moved. I moved far away, like further away from me. So I need to open up another one. So eventually I will, but it's a big expense. So it's like $275 for a year. It's like, I almost can't justify the amount of stuff that people would want to send for that price. It's You know what I mean? So right now we don't have one. In the future we will get one again. I'll get one again for sure for us.
Cramptonite says, what movies have you seen lately that you have really enjoyed? And that's asking everybody on the panel here. But I'm going to focus out on Robman and Johnny first. What's the favourite movies that you guys have enjoyed?
Go for it, Rob.
Wow, I'm trying to think of what recent movies we've actually seen. We haven't been able to. Okay, we rent movies. So Guardians of the Galaxy we did see in the theater and blew my mind. Loved it. It was the fun, actiony, eye candy effects comic book movie. We watched X-Men: Days of Future Past last night, and that was quite good. Although I'm like the most easily satisfied movie guy in the universe. Like, it's ridiculous. If it's 2 hours that's not my life, I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah.
I want to be taken away and enjoy something different for a couple hours. But I think was there anything else you can think of that was really mind-blowing recently that we...
You asked me to remember something. How about...
A lot of Doctor Who. We've been watching a lot of the Doctor Who series. It's not movies, but...
Yeah, we've been binging on Doctor Who a lot.
Yes.
Yay!
I think...
Castle. We've been watching a lot of Castle.
Yes, and Castle, which is another TV series we binge on a lot. But for movies, yeah, I think that's about it, really.
I think just to get mine out of the way, and it's kind of a Halloweeny movie, is Troll 2. I had never seen it, and I had my mom over. She was visiting us for a week and a half, and it was so funny. We had decorated the whole place in Halloween stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Troll 2, and I ran down to the CNL, it's a DVD Blu-ray warehouse from us, and I picked it up, came back. We cracked Rob, that's when I cracked my first pumpkin ale of the season, and I watched, we watched Troll 2. I watched Troll 2 with my mother, okay, and my mother loved it. My mother thought it was the coolest fucking thing. She's like, oh, that's bloody horrible, but she loved it.
Yeah, so that's...
Oh, actually, I also did introduce my boys to Goonies today. So my sons watched Goonies for the very first time with us today.
That's cool.
Did you like it?
Cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, Oren loved it. Mini-Man loved it. Micro-Man really wasn't aware of anything different going on. He just played with his toys and wandered around. But Mini-Man definitely loved it.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Movies? Xander, Nick, anyone?
We saw Guardians of the Galaxy again recently. We also saw The Book of Life, I think, last week. That was pretty good. As for TV shows, I've been binging on Legend of Korra and Doctor Who. Just whenever they're on. Finally caught up.
Xander, what
We've
about
only
you?
seen the first one, Cora. Sorry.
The movie I can think of that I really enjoyed in theaters was actually Godzilla. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and man, I really loved it. I really loved it.
Did you really? I didn't like it at all.
Thank you, Johnny.
I loved it.
Thank you. High five.
Well, hey, no, Xander, let's talk about this for a second. I'm not like, if you enjoy the movie, that's wonderful. But for me, I went down with Kyle and Hanzo and another friend of ours, Tarek, and we went down to see it. And I think what I didn't like is I didn't care about the characters themselves, and I didn't see enough Godzilla. All I want to see is Godzilla fucking shit up. And there's a whole bunch of people that, remember the guy that he didn't even dispose of the bomb at the end? Like, what was the deal with that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there was a lot of plot holes, but it is going to be a trilogy, and all I can wait for the second one because the second one's going to have Mothra and Rodan, and I think the third one's either going to have Ghidra in it. So the second one is where all the action's going to come in. This was like pretty much an introduction to the new saga, the legendary saga of Godzilla, and I was just. I don't know. It kind of made me feel like watching those old movies, kind of like Alien, where it kind of just it kept hinting and kept pushing, and then by the time you saw the kiss of death, you're like, "Holy shit, this is the movie I wanted to see."
But I love that. I love that Godzilla in my Godzilla.
Yeah, the thing that got me, I love the Asian guy who all he would do is go Godzilla. You know, like
oh my god, I hated that bit. Poor Ken Watanabe just going Godzilla. That's all he did in the entire film.
Godzilla. Yeah.
He was the actor. He deserved more than Godzilla.
You know what I hate?
My favorite was when he. My favorite was when they had that big discussion. He's looking in distance and he just says, "Let them fight."
Yeah, but this is after trying to blow everything up, right? And basically trying to kill everything and going, "Oh, the military didn't work. Let them fight. It's okay." Yeah. We had
a bit of fun.
But honestly, if I had a movie that was very surprising that I really enjoyed was actually the Ninja Turtles movie.
Really?
Have you guys seen that yet?
Oh, I've been
No.
avoiding it like the plague.
Oh, I've been avoiding it.
It's actually not too bad. It's not
Really?
perfect, but it's actually not too bad.
Better than Turtles 3. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing any Ninja Turtles. I'm not. Hey, I can't stand the Transformers movies. I'm not getting into the Ninja. I just don't want to see it. I just don't. I watched the first Transformers movie and I hated it. I'm done. It's over. And I tried to watch it, but the other ones are terrible.
Oh, I agree. I can't stand Turtles. Won't watch Turtles. You'd have to pay me to watch Turtles. As in,
Same here.
Cinema.
I might rent it, but
free. I still don't want to see it.
Go on, Rob.
I might rent it. Personally, that movie already had the bullet put in it. The second they said, that whichever one it was, I think it was Leonardo, is Johnny Knoxville. I was like, okay, and we're done here. Just wrap that up,
Yeah,
put it in a box, on the shelf, and good day. I doubt Leonardo go, hey, watch me light a firecracker in my ass. So,
And I hate him, but I don't want to see him in a Ninja Turtle movie. Doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on that one. Now, going forward for the questions, what I want to do is I want to throw some questions out to our panel here first before we go back to the questions on the live chat.
Hey, Michael?
Yep.
Michael, I hate to interrupt you, but I think Nick has been dying to ask a question, and
That's
I really...
exactly the reason why I'm going to do
think
this. I'm going to throw it at Nick first and then take it through the rest of the panel to ask some questions. So, Nick, take it away.
Well, actually, it's not a question. Like you, Michael, I want to say a thank you not only to Rob, Man, and Johnny, but also to you and the entire cast of IGG, because without you guys, without the shows, days in my life would be boring and sad and depressing. And if it wasn't for Rob, Man, and Johnny, I wouldn't have met Michael. And I was actually introduced to HGC by Splatter Trigger. So I owe all of you guys a big thank you. No matter how long I've been on the show, thank you guys very much. I appreciate the happiness you bring into my life.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
Wow, that's really nice, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, group sex time.
this is
Way ahead of you.
That would
The
be
pants
weird
are
on
already
Skype.
off.
That would be very weird on Skype. You'd have to be really specific.
Well,
You're aiming it at.
Rob
And
did
it starts.
Rob did actually coin our group chat Skype bacon. Just saying.
Skype bacon.
That was us. I think that was me. I said it sounded like bacon, and then it became a thing.
Yeah, it did.
I contributed to a thing.
There you go. So, Sarah, have you got a question to ask Johnny and Rob here for us?
Not really a question. It was basically the same as Nick. I wrote it down. I know I'm probably just not going to look at it. I just wanted to say thank you for Burhan for taking a chance on in February, and it's kind of funny because Burhan, I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for Xander. Xander wouldn't know you because I met you through the Happy Console Gamer group, and so basically Johnny and Rob, you're the reason why I know all you wonderful, wonderful people. And I find it awesome that we all connected through things that we love doing and our passion for gaming. And I feel like we've become like this solid group of friends. I do like probably one of the best crowds of friends I've ever been with. So thank you.
Wow. It's really amazing that the show has connected a lot of people, and that's awesome. And that's it. Like that, we had no idea that I had no idea what happened, but that's a wonderful sound effect. That's great.
In a non-sexual way, Johnny, you kind of spreaded the love.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day we'll all meet in the same room. I promise. One day.
Yeah. Don't worry. I won't be there. Don't worry. I won't be in the room. I'll be at the pub. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be at the pub then. We're all gonna go down, have a beer or whatever. That's gonna be a
stalking,
Sarah.
I think Johnny's gonna be running from us for a while. Restraining order, DG.
That's pretty true.
Jamie, have you got a question for Robin and Johnny?
Well, since everyone is just like talking about this, I thought that I would kind of tell my thing, and it's actually the opposite. Like Burhan brought me to the Happy Console Gamer and Robin and all these other people, and it was really such a shock going on Twitter and finding out that because of my posts that I was ranting about E3 and the evil within, that he had found me. Because at the time, I was at a really, really low spot in my life. I have a heart and a muscle condition, and it was basically the past year has been me finding out that I could more than likely never do what I wanted to, which was acting. I could more than likely never be on the screen and be everything that I wanted to, and because of the fact that if I do just a little bit, I have to recuperate for 3 days. And so I loved video games, and video games actually helped me get through that because I can't really play the games myself because I have comprehension issues. Like, I can't focus on it, and so I have to watch playthroughs online. And watching these playthroughs has helped me get through so much, and that brought Burhan to me. And this entire family of people has helped me get through so much. My confidence is through the roof. I feel so good about myself, and now I don't care if I have a disability anymore because I have all these friends, and I have a YouTube channel now that, you know what, if it doesn't get anywhere, I don't care, but I know that my friends enjoy hearing my opinions, and I enjoy talking. Burhan knows that.
Yep.
And and then he's brought me to all these other people and all these other channels, and I think that I got gameplay, and Burhan himself, it feels like it's given me a purpose.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's really awesome. Nice.
Oh, I feel
so
like
I just wanted to. So I just wanted to thank my whole big happy family, all of you.
Yay!
Oh.
Inspiration to us all.
Well,
and Johnny.
Have you got a question for Robin Johnny here?
I guess, let's see. I have to ask this simply because you guys mentioned Resident Evil. What's your favorite game? Because I love Resident Evil, so what's your favorite Resident Evil game?
2.
2. 2? Yeah.
2.
All right.
Good. We're hoping for a remake. 2 was so.
Yes.
The first one was really hard. Sorry, go on. You talk. Go.
Making a Resident Evil 2 remake, but it's not original for the consoles yet. So far from what I can tell, it's just a fan remake on PC, but there is some sort of remake and high definition remake in the mix, if only from a fan's perspective.
Yeah, maybe when they get the first one, the redoing Resident Evil 1 on PS4, well, an updated version, maybe they'll move on to number 2, and that'd be kind of cool, like, to update the series and keep it alive for a new generation. That'd be great, but Resident Evil 2 is a great game, but it's over so fast, but I love that game. Me and Rob had a religious experience playing it. It was a real life game changer. No pun intended. No pun intended.
So what was the kind of experience that you guys had? I'm fearing that this is going to turn to a sex session.
I'm sorry. What?
You tell it from your side, John, and then I'll tell my side.
Are we talking? So we talking about Resident Evil? Why?
Yeah,
Resident Evil 2. The experience that was so amazing.
I think the first, as I said, the first game was very tough, and I was very bad at it, and it made me feel stupid. But the second one was way more. It felt more like arcadey. You know, it felt like more like a run and gun, which it was, but I had to conserve my ammo and be very, very careful. And that's where the whole survival horror thing really started to be much more easier for me to understand in the second one. And the atmosphere of that game was something else. And yeah, I just loved it right to the end. Rob, you go for it.
I remember that while we were playing it, I bought it. I was working at a cafe at the time in a mall up in Vancouver. And so this is when I actually had a bit of expendable cash. I went on the way to John's place after work and stopped at the local EB that I always went to. And they had just released both Alundra and Resident Evil 2. And I picked them both up. And I headed over to John's house. And I didn't even go home and play it first. I went straight to his house, cracked open Resident Evil 2 there, and we put it in together. And I started playing it. And I think it was about maybe 15 minutes in. And John was like, okay, turn it off. No, turn it off. Get in the car. I'm going to go and buy my own copy. And so we got in the car and went to our local Willow Video Games. And he bought it and brought it back. And then that was the one at Scott and Sarah at 72nd and King George, eh, John?
Yeah. A good classic one.
And then
I got my Nomad there. Yeah.
So we get back, and then I went home. And from that point on, every night, we were on the phone. Where are you in the game right now? Oh, I'm over here. Where are you? I'm over here. And we were talking. I was seeing a girl at the time, and yet I'd be at her place supposedly spending the night, but it'd be like 2, 3 in the morning, and I was on the phone with John. She was asleep in bed, and we were playing Resident Evil and whispering on the phone.
Wow. I was like the other girlfriend. It was really funny. He's like, I got to keep it down because she's sleeping. You know?
The other woman.
Okay, no problem.
And I was like, but I'm in the secret lab right now, and oh my god. There's zombies.
The best thing is, I'd be sitting there late at night, and I'm sitting and the phone rings, and I was living at home at the time, obviously, and so I had to grab the phone real fast, so I didn't wake up my parents, and I grabbed the phone, and I'm like, hello, and all I hear is this, and I had a weird moment. I had a weird moment where I was a little bit hungover, and I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, I'm like, oh. Fuck, dude, that was awesome. You totally, I'm fun because I was so into the game too. I was just like, it was so unique and brand new. You know, it was like a whole new genre that we were playing, and it was, God, yeah, that was good times.
I forgot I used to do that to you, but I did that all the time when we were playing that.
I know. Yeah,
forgot about that.
Totally.
So let's go to Anina. Anina, what's your question for Rob and Johnny?
If resources weren't any issue, what would be your absolute dream to do with your channel or your empire, or what would be the absolute dream? And sorry if this has been asked before.
Oh no! I think me and Rob have talked about we'd love to do this for a living, but it's just not feasible at all. But we'd just love to have an office or a studio where we could go every day and just play video games and talk about them all the time, like a channel where we're doing news every day, and because we love video games that much, we have so much energy that we could do a show every fucking day if we didn't have to work our day jobs, and we have to work our day jobs. That is the reality. This is fun stuff we do on the side, and I think people think, oh wow, when you get to like 87,000 subscribers, wow, that's the money tree, or oh, you guys are probably rocking and rolling.
Sorted.
I'm telling, it isn't at all.
No.
Basically, the channel pays for my gas, and I can't even afford a PO box, so it's not doing extraordinarily well. But it's not a measure of success that way. Like, I think Rob feels the same way. Is that like when we were at Portland and we met all those fans of the show, it's like, this is why we're doing it. Like, you forget, but I think we'd love to do it for a living if we could do it. What would you say, Rob?
If money was no object, absolutely. We've daydreamed about this a lot. That like my day to day would be up at 6, straight to the gym, work out for about 2.5 hours, straight into the studio. Sit down with a cup of coffee. We'd chat, play some preview copies of games that we would have just to check out, and then we could sit down, do I think we'd probably do like an hour and a half episode every day that would cover like gaming news, reviews on new games, some of the retro stuff, and some just sort of other than gaming stuff like comics, music, whatever we're into. Then we'd both sit down after we recorded. We'd both edit together episodes on side-by-side editing stations, and that'd be our day-to-day. That'd be like every day, and we'd upload episodes every day. That would be the dream. And then, of course, to be able to make more Happy Console Gamer movies with actual budget.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, I'd love to do the second movie. Like, the second movie I'd love to do. Like, it's just, it is so cool of a concept, and we had plans to do it, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to go down that road again. It's just too much to take on. It's way too much because it takes 2 or 3 years of your life, and I'm not doing that. I'm not punching another hole in my door here. Yeah. Oh, easily. So that'd be a dream, just to do the show for just every day.
Where did the majority of the budget for the movie go, Johnny? Fixing my door.
Hey, let me tell you this: the hole is still in the door. I'm just like, man, if I ever sell this place, I have to replace the door now. It really, that was such an incredible night. I was planning to get so many people over, and to do this one big thing, and then this person canceled, and I just fucking ran, and I just started punching the fucking door. I was just like, fuck this shit. I got the enthusiasm. I can't make it happen. No matter what I'm trying to do, I can't make it happen. And that's where the frustration was. So we're going back to the punch in the door again.
Well, you can do is put the DVD inside the door, and just leave it there. It's like this. The hole was because of this, and just leave them a copy for the new tenants.
Yeah. This is from the serial killer trying to come into this room. But actually, Rob, I wonder when we did that PT episode, and you had to keep on coming into the games room. Was that a hole in the door? Do you remember? Is that in the video that this is a hole in the door?
Isn't it in the back isn't your poster covering the hole in the back of the door?
I wonder. I'm having a look here. The door's right here. Oh no! The hole is in the door. Yeah.
The hole is what?
It's in the door.
I know it is.
But I think when you walk over the door, you cover it.
For those of you just joining the podcast, he said the hole is still in the door. We don't know why. Yeah. It's just there.
Yeah. That is true. Oh my goodness.
Wait, let's go to Xander for another question. Xander?
Well, I think I'll keep the tradition alive with all of us. Before I ask the question, I do want to say thank you guys for being on I Got Gameplay with us, and Rob Man, firsthand that if it wasn't for Rob Man, I wouldn't know what to call what I'm doing right now, because it was actually Rob Man who came up with Excess Gaming Podcast. He's the one that came up with that. That was on the Happy Console Gamer group. And I'm glad you guys are on, but the question I wanted to ask, because I'm a big tea drinker, what are your guys' favorite flavored tea?
I got I'm so British that I got my Doctor Who mug here, and I have Tetleys in it. I have always drank Tetleys. That's what I drink. Always.
Yay!
Do you have milk in it like Brits do?
I am Brit. I am a Brit. I just don't have the accent anymore. I'm from Yorkshire. Yeah, I was born in Yorkshire.
Oh.
But
wow, your accent's really, really gone. Usually people have a hint of something.
No, actually no. There was a few people at work last week that said, "Oh my God, you got a British accent," and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh, they see there."
Really?
Yeah, but you know what? When I moved to Canada, I was bugged so much about my accent that I had to make myself lose my accent. So because I got bugged so that's back in the '80s, but when people were even more meaner than today. And so I made myself lose my accent, type of thing. But no, it's always been Tetley's since my mom. You know what I can't understand with the English people too is why was my mother giving me fucking tea when I was a kid? Like wiring me up. Like what is this shit?
Oh.
What kind of crazy stuff is that to do?
In Finland, my grandma made this horrific concoction called silver tea, and it's hot water, milk, and sugar. It's pointless. And she'd always go, "Here you go," and I'd go, try to gag it, drink it because my grandmother's terrifying. So I'd try to drink it, but it was the most revolting
Sounds bloody
thing.
awful.
It
That's like
is.
drinking tea without tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tea without tea, basically.
So basically,
Yeah.
water and sugar.
It's like, I went to the war, here's what we had. Okay.
When I was young, we didn't have tea. We just had water and sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke, yeah.
And milk.
Cold water.
Don't forget the milk. Well, I'm European. No milk in my tea. Milk in tea is just wrong to me. Just feels wrong.
Yeah. The funny thing is, whenever I'm making tea for my wife, I always put the milk in mine, and I go to do it for her, and I'm like, oh shit, no. And I'm still, all these years later, I'm thinking, doesn't she have milk? Like, who doesn't have milk? You know, it's weird to have tea without milk.
Exactly.
I like milk, but only in certain types. Like green tea, I never put anything in it, but black tea, maybe. Sort of.
Yeah.
If it's really strong, I will put stuff in it.
Well, I tell you what,
Stuff in it.
I tell you what, if you guys ever come down to the South, the sweet tea, they push sweet tea on you like freaking crack down here.
Oh my god.
That stuff is
We do.
good.
We do.
Sweet tea. I mean, yeah, Jamie can testify.
Yeah, like my boyfriend's from Arizona, and he moved here, and he goes, "No, you don't understand. We didn't really have sweet tea out there. We just had tea. Like there was like a sweet or an unsweetened tea in Arizona." And I'm like, "What did you drink?" And like I make sweet tea, and it's like 8 tea bags, and like a full 2 quarts of water. You know, like the whole the pitcher of water, like 7 to 8 tea bags, and 4 cups of sugar.
Yeah,
Wow.
can I ask you guys from America this? Whenever I go to the States, and in the past I would order, can I get an iced tea? And I'm thinking it's like a poppy kind of thing, but no, it was real fucking tea. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, real iced tea is amazing. I love that stuff. Oh, brilliant. Oh.
She
When I
really
was a
likes
kid-
her tea.
Yeah,
when I was-
the best real iced tea I had was in Hawaii. It was really strong. It was amazing.
So is that just tea with cold water then, or how do they do that?
Yeah, it's they brew the tea, then after the tea's cooled down, they mix all the ice in, and maybe a bit of
You have to put it in the refrigerator, and then you can put like lemon in it or like sugar, you put it. You put it in there when it's hot, so it actually dissolves, and like you let it cool down and you put your lemon in it.
Yeah. I'll have to try that today. So we have tea.
Yeah, because if you go up north, and you're like, I want some sweet tea, they'll give you a cup of unsweet tea and give you a couple of sugar packets, and they're like, there you go.
Yes.
That's not strong enough.
Have your sugar and like it. So, Rob, you were going to say something, a little story about your tea habits?
Oh, as a kid growing up, I mean, I can remember all the way back to elementary school. Every morning, my mom would I've got a brother and a sister. She'd wake all 3 of us up by putting a cup of tea on the bedside table.
Rough life there.
And it was like orange pico tea with milk, no sugar. But every morning we had tea as soon as we got up every morning. And so I've always been a tea person. Although when I started hanging out with John, he taught me the wonders of sugar in my tea as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't looked back from that. So, like, every time it was make the tea, it was, okay, a Tetley's bag in each mug, boiling water over top, squeeze all the tea out of the bags, stir in some milk and sugar, and that was tea.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting color. The right color is so fucking important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But for me, I also flavored what I was having at the start of the podcast here, which is one tea bag of the peach tea and 1 tea bag of apple spice in a teapot.
I never thought to mix the bags. That's actually a really good idea. I'll have to try that sometime.
It's an apple peach spice tea, and I put a bit of milk and sugar in it when it's brewed, and it's delicious.
Just
Yay!
don't do
Hey,
what
Rob.
this idiot did. Strawberry tea and decided to put milk in it.
Oh, strawberries and milk. Oh my god.
Yeah, it
Guys.
doesn't work. But yeah, say something?
No, I was gonna say, Rob, how did you
Yeah.
like having your Tim Hortons coffee when you got back?
Oh dear God, you have no idea.
He insisted on throwing a decaf cup of it as soon as he got in at 1 in the morning.
Oh yeah, you have no idea. Oh my God. Okay, people from the States. People from the States. I love you. I loved being in Portland. What the fuck is wrong with your coffee? I swear to, like, I went to a Denny's the first morning and it tasted like whipped shit in a cup. And so then I decided, okay, I'll go to a Starbucks. It always tastes over roasted, but it should be survivable. It tasted even more burnt than it does in Canada. So then I was like, okay, what's the last bastion? McDonald's. I've had McDonald's coffee up here. It's not terrible. I got down there and I said, yeah, I'd like a large triple. And they said, what? I said, oh, I'd like 3 cream and 3 sugar. Yeah, okay. And they punched it up and handed me 3 cream pots and 3 packs of Splenda. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's not triple.
The coffee.
That's 3
The coffee here is strong enough to walk.
Cramped Knight
see, but that's
gives
the
you
thing.
a
I like my
serving
Tim Hortons.
suggestion there, Rob. Cramped Knight says you need to find maple sugar for the use in your tea or coffee.
Oh God.
No, that's not what it is, man. I tell you what, right now. I tell you, I don't know what it is, but man, I could not get.
Yeah, go on, Rob.
Like I even went to the places that sold like the shade-grown organic medium roasted coffee, and it still tasted terrible. So 4 days without a decent cup of coffee. The beer was, I mean, Horton has the best microbrew you'll ever have.
Rob,
I was just.
how do you think I felt?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you think I felt? I didn't have a good beer when I was down in the States at all. I mean, I didn't like any of the IPAs. I'm not a fan of that. You are, and Randy was, and all those guys. But I couldn't get a fucking good lager for the whole time I was there. I mean, I was so frustrated. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I can live longer without a decent beer than I can without a decent coffee. Like, I got home. So to answer your question, Johnny.
Jamie, you were going to say something?
So to answer Johnny's question.
Okay,
I got home at 1 in the morning, walked in and brewed a decaf Tim Hortons coffee in my kitchen at 1 in the morning and pounded that thing back like it was God's tears running down my throat to bring me joy and happiness. And I tell you, it was the best tasting cup of coffee I've ever had in my life.
If you guys have trouble with bitter tasting coffee, put just a few granules of salt in it. I'm not kidding you. You will not be able to taste the salt, and it will take out any and all bitterness.
Oh,
wow.
I will try that next time I'm in the States.
Yeah.
You'll just be pouring salt. I can just see someone pouring a whole shaker of salt into coffee desperately.
Well, there's another suggestion. Actually, apparently, go to Coffee People in Portland because they're apparently really good. Says Brandon Mueller. For you guys.
Yeah, but they're used to the American coffee, which is scary. Okay. The other thing that I'll probably do is if I go to the States again, I will just bring a tin of Timmy's with me. So my goodness, that was quite the side story about coffee and tea.
Yeah, that was. It was like the podcast. I think was turning into the Happy Tea podcast.
The tea
Happy Tea and Coffee
podcast.
No. Well, just going on back.
This is how we get the older demographic.
This is. I think we've actually tripled our numbers because we've got the grandmas and granddads listening in, going, "I want some tea."
Yeah.
I remember the day.
And on our special episode, let's do oatmeal.
Yeah.
Then we'll get. Then we'll get everyone listening.
187 writes Johnny. For Johnny and Rob, how was the Portland Retro Gaming Expo for you guys? And how was pricing on the games down there as well?
I'll start off. It was awesome like usual. It's fantastic. If you like retro games, there's no better place to go in the world besides Japan. But the prices, I thought the prices were very, very reasonable. I walked around. I got a whole bunch of NES games, all under $20 a pop, boxed complete. No fucking around. And it was really good. All the Sega CD stuff I saw, a lot of generic stuff, Saturn stuff. Everything seemed pretty reasonable. There's some vendors price things way, ridiculous, and you just said, yeah, whatever. But for the most part, Rob, when you say pretty reasonable?
I hate to say it, but I didn't actually check any of the prices because I really didn't have any money to spend anyway. But from what I heard from everyone else, like yourself and from Wood and Alpha and all those guys, the prices were really good. Just really good prices. A lot of guys were willing to haggle, which is important if you're going to get into retro gaming and do what they call shopping in the wild. You got to be willing to haggle. You know, I mean, it's pretty much right out of the life of Brian. No, come on, haggle, Tim, for that. You must be mad. Come on,
I'll give you
haggle.
a tuppence. I'll give you a tuppence for that radius.
That's a nice gourd. I'll give you 2. No, you can just take it. 3. No, look, really, just take it. 4, but that's my final offer. Yeah. It's just no, you've got to be able to do that. But it was an amazing trip. Like just. The floor itself, what we were able to see of it, because I was hanging out with Alpha, and that dude couldn't walk 3 steps without getting stopped. Poor guy.
Yeah.
But there was so much T-shirts, posters, homemade crafts and stuff that were to do with retro gaming. There's the games, of course, controllers, like books, manuals, all sorts of. It was insane, and it was all really
Mega
cool.
Rob there as well, like your evil twin.
Oh, you mean Brentalfloss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did finally meet him. It was amazing. The universe failed to collapse, which I thought it might. It's funny because I saw him on the preview night for like people who were guests of the convention, and so he was setting up his table right over from where I was standing chatting with some friends. And I said, "Hey, Brent," and I waved, and he kind of looked over. And I said, "Brent, over here," and he came over, and I said, "Hey. You know what? Want to say? Like, I like your music. I really like your songs. I don't know if you've heard of me, but my friend and I do a YouTube thing. I'm Rob Mann. And he went, someone was mentioning you to me just the other day. And I said, oh, okay, cool. I always get told that I look like you. And he said, yeah, I don't see it. And I said, yeah, me neither.
Oh, yeah, right.
But I asked him for a photo the next day because I hadn't shaved. I was like totally scruffy and greasy looking. I'd been on a train for 10 hours. So he said, yeah, absolutely. And then before he headed out, he made sure to come by and go, so tomorrow, come by and we'll get that picture. I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And then he came by when we were at the table signing stuff for people. He came by to shake my hand and say, hey, you know what? How's it going? And, really cool chatting with you. And, come by my stall and we'll chat some more. And, yeah, really, really awesome guy.
He's a really nice guy. He was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a kind of a Rob and Rob romance going on here? Rob falling in love with the evil twin?
No.
Michael,
if we did have sex, wouldn't that just...
Michael, I told you not to go to the yaoi stand today, honestly.
Rob, what were you saying,
if I did have sex with him, wouldn't it just be masturbation? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that was good.
And now we go to the dark place.
Always.
Pixels Without Borders basically said Goonies equals parenting done right, by the way, for you, Rob. I'm just having a look here at the rest of the questions here. David Haffey said, fun fact, I paused the new Turtles movies to listen to this. So smart choice on you there. And Pixels Without Borders says, I gotta say a massive thank you to Johnny and Rob because their videos just chill me out when I feel stressed out to fucking those some dark times, man. Thank you guys so much. Also, a big thank you to Xander for being on the Pixels Without Border podcast and Michael as well for being on it. It's always appreciated, and keep the hard work, everyone.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yay!
And Crampton Knight says, went from HCG to messaging Burhan and harassing Rob Man. That's how he met everyone. And David Happy says, the Hyper Console Gamer movie was better than the AVGN movie. So let's ask you guys that question.
Oh, jeez.
Have you guys seen the AVGN movie, and did you like it?
I'm just not going to comment on it at all. No.
I saw
it's something. Sorry, go for it, Rob.
I went over to John's and saw about 20 minutes of it, and that was enough. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen about 20 minutes of it, and I think I got what I needed from that.
I will applaud James Well for doing his movie, and other than that, for me personally, I'm not getting into any of it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, as I always say to people, some people like certain movies, some don't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Doesn't make a movie good or bad. It's all
Yeah.
about
Well,
what
you know,
people's
hey, the
tastes
thing
are.
for me, you have to understand, for me is that I was making my movie, and a lot of people were going, you know, like I announced my movie first, and I did, you know, like, and then he announced his movie, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, you're copying him. I'm like, no, I announced my movie 6 months before him, and then I finished my movie and I put it out there and all of that, and yeah, the thing is I don't. Yeah, the thing is like I like James. I've met him. I've hung out with him.
Yeah.
I've had beer with him. You know what I mean? Like we all have very mutual friends. So I'm very happy for him that he got it finished and all the stress is over, and all that. So that's one great thing. So that's all. Because I don't want to get into controversies, and I think people want it to be a controversy. So I just say no comment every time. That's why.
They're very different things.
Yes.
Made for in different ways for different stories. So I mean, you can't really. It's like saying, well, does that apple taste as good as this watermelon?
Yeah.
They're different things. They're both enjoyed for different reasons by different folks.
Yep. Pretty much. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
What was the hardest thing about getting your film done? What was the hardest thing?
Getting all the people together.
Yes.
The editing was easy for me. That was very time consuming, but that was on my end. I could do that. The problem was when we'd have a shoot and we'd have 9 people in the shoot. And to get all of those 9 people together on a sunny day, and hopefully it will be a sunny day when they all show up, there's just so many factors, and especially when everybody's doing it out of the goodness of their hearts, it's very, very hard. And that's why there was a hole in my door so many times, because, so many times I go with good faith to get everybody over, and 2 people would cancel, I couldn't do the scene. It was over. So, yeah, that's why it took so long. If I could get everybody when I needed them, I could have been done. I could have honestly been done in about a summer.
I understand totally. You know, I'm currently doing a short movie, trying to get all the actors together. One last scene that we need to do. We're shooting in 2.5K, and I'm basically have a problem where every time I try to get everyone together, someone's got something going on. So then I have to cancel the shoot. Then I have to basically do again. Then I have to cancel another shoot. It's costing me money to the point where I'm just like...
As an actor, I know exactly what you mean. If you try and do something low budget, it's like herding cats.
Well, the annoyance about it is I've got the tech, I've got the equipment to do it, and I also have like people that can help me like produce this. And the hard work's going to be all the post-production because I've never edited 2.5K before. But this one scene, it's literally an hour shoot. We can't get everyone together to do it, and I need to get this film in by Cannes, by the time Cannes arrives, so we can get it into the short corner. So I just want to, you know, it's part of my bucket list. I want to get a film in Cannes, and I want to see if, you know, we can do it. And at the moment, it's just been one person's not ready or another person's not ready, and I have to cancel and cancel and cancel, and it's stressful, and it's extremely stressful when you're trying to put a project like this together, and especially if you're doing low to no budget. It's a big thing as well because you want everybody, you want it to come together so that you can get in there, get the footage, edit the stuff, and get it out there for everyone else to see. And you know what, and Johnny, I attest to the fact that you did this, and I can say 6 months before, I remember when you announced your movie first before James, I was there watching the Happy Console Gamer when that was happening, and the process that you put in, because I thought myself, I was like, oh, this is probably going to release it on DVD or something. And then you went, no, it's going to be on the channel. I was like, what the hell? And when I finally watched it, and you know what, I can see the passion in that movie. And one of the things that brought me out of my depression at the time was the passion that you guys had in this movie. It was a lovely pet project. It was something that was, it was good for what it was. It was something that you could tell had a lot of drive and a lot of effort put into it. And it had the mark of basically you guys. You know, it was something that you loved and that you put all that passion into. When you love something so much, it gets frustrating because you want to do it right. And when you can't do that, when things just don't line up, you just get so pissed off that you just want to, like, I'm done. You know, I can't do this anymore.
You just want to punch a hole in your door?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. hey, I want to punch a hole in somebody else's door. That'll make me happy.
Well, come to the UK, Johnny. You can punch a hole in my door, and I'll just I'll get you to sign it.
Yeah, that cost me a lot of money to do that.
No, I just asked for purely selfish reasons. I'm writing something myself a screenplay, and I'm an actor. I've always been an actor. I've never really done anything behind, producing or directing, and that side just terrifies me. But I'm gonna do it. I've decided I'm gonna do it.
All I'll say
to
you,
have fun and enjoy it. Have fun and enjoy it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the main thing.
Speaking of which, I'm sorry, but Mike knew this ahead of time. I gotta fly off because I have got to. I can't say what I gotta go and do right now, but Rob knows what I gotta do. I gotta create something. You probably know, Rob. You know what I mean? For the Halloween specials.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't done.
I have no idea how you're talking.
Behind. Well, yeah. I haven't started it, and I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna do this.
Before you go, Johnny,
a little behind.
Can you do me a little favour and just plug away on your projects? Plug away on anything that you want to promote here. The forum is yours, sir. Before you go.
Oh, I don't. I just the Halloween specials coming out tomorrow. That's about it. I don't have any other projects other than that. Just doing the show. That's really it on a weekly basis. All very good. But thank you guys for having me. Really, really appreciate it. I definitely want to show up for your 100th episode and all that. But actually, I've been on way longer than what I thought I would be. But I've had a lot of fun. I could do this all night.
I know. The great thing about having you on Skype is once you get talking, that's it. Like sometimes we've been on Skype with me and Zan, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll just be on for 20 minutes," and then it's like 4 hours later.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I don't. Yeah. So in the next couple of months, I don't know. Sorry, we got lag going on over us. In the next couple of months, I'm going to launch my new podcast, which I'm not going to announce the name of yet, but I'm launching it, and it's going to be me and Alpha Mega Sin, and we're going to do 1 hour a week, and it should be pretty cool, type of thing. So that's our big news coming into the end of this year, starting the new year. That's for sure. So should be pretty cool.
Well, good luck on that, Johnny. And guys, remember, head over to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/happyconsolegamer.
Very lovely. Thank you. And you guys are all writing to me in the chat, and I can't find the chat in my fucking Skype call. I've been trying to for about half an hour. I don't know where the fuck it is. I just keep seeing the... I'm not on Skype.
Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Just a completely antisocial bastard. Trust me. That's the truth.
I'm so antisocial.
He hates
Anyways,
people,
guys. Fantastic on 100 episodes. So, do another 100 episodes for sure. And
until next time, Johnny.
Yes.
Bye-bye, guys.
Sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, ladies and gents, we'll go back to the questions on that. That was Johnny Millenium, and I have to take my hat off to him. That was a big thank you on there, because it was actually quite funny when he's like just saying to me, "Yeah, I'm going to be on for a short time." First he was like, "I'll be on for an hour." Then he's like, "No, I've got to be shorter than that. I've got stuff to do." And then I got him chatting. I knew as soon as I'd get him chatting, that would be it. And it was it's great having him on the show finally. Now, Cram Tonight goes, I believe it would be molestation, Robman.
What?
Gaming Pegasus says, Johnny and Rob, did you have Fireball whiskey in Portland? So, Rob, did you have Fireball whiskey in Portland? And if you did it whisper temptation in your ear?
I've heard of Fireball whiskey, if that's the cinnamon flavored stuff. I've had tastes of it in other places. Not have it while I was down in Portland. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit of a whiskey purist, so it doesn't whisper sweet temptations in my ear. What it whispers is some bastard put cinnamon in a very good, possibly wonderful whiskey, and wrecked it. That's because I'm a Scotch snob as well as a coffee snob, so there you go.
Bloody Eye Gamer said as well, he goes, Johnny and Alpha Mega Sin starting their own podcast. Freaking awesome. Now, KH Maggot said, oh yeah, she's basically reiterating that. Just some more of the questions that the guys had for you. Game Pegasus with a beard like Eric Rowan. Apparently you look like Eric Rowan when you had Eugene.
Who's Eric Rowan?
He's a wrestler from the Wyatt family.
Okay. I got so many people saying I look like somebody in this Wyatt family while I had the beard. And then I looked at some pictures of them, and I mean, first of all, I'm not that built yet. And second of all, I do have all of my own original teeth.
You do. I can attest to that. He does have all his original teeth.
You know, yeah. Yeah, and my family tree isn't a circle. So
It's a stump.
Pegasus says, have you played Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS? And who's your main character if you have?
I got one of those demo download codes, so I have, and I'll give you 3 guesses who I played as. Three guesses. Yes. That was a tough one.
Does he move fluidly? Does he like play exactly how you remember him?
Let's put it this way: I never lost when I was playing with him, but I was playing against the computer on easy because I suck at Smash Brothers. But no, he plays very well actually. I normally cannot get into Smash Brothers. The controls always, but man, playing with Mega Man, I was like, I'm charging my Buster, I'm blowing shit up, I'm throwing the Metal Blade, I'm using Leaf Shield, I'm just so awesome. It was great. I loved it. So highly recommend. If people don't have it, get Smash Brothers, and if you do have it, don't play as Mega Man because he's mine.
Hopefully, we'll get an amiibo of him.
Yeah, I know. Well, that'd be awesome.
I don't think I'd really use amiibos.
I'm sorry, who plays as the Wii Fit woman? Why is that character in there? Why?
Why is what character in it? Why is Mega Man in Smash Brothers?
Wii Fit woman, that grey woman.
Yeah, the one who tells you to exercise, Rob, in the Wii Fit thing.
Yeah.
Why is the Wii Fit woman in Smash Brothers?
Yeah. Why? It's not even funny.
Because
it really bothers me.
I don't understand either. To be honest with you, why the Wii Fit man and woman are in there, I don't know. They could have had Simon Belmont, for God's sake, who's an original NES character.
Oh, yeah.
They could have had so many other characters in there, and they wasted spots on like store mannequins that do flexible things.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it just irrationally irritates me.
No, it's not irrational. It rationally irritates you because they could have had so many amazing characters, and instead they've got this gobby white-faced tit running around doing little balance board moves. What the fuck is that?
It's not even funny. You know, when they probably thought, look at us, we're being a bit funny here.
She's doing the downward facing dog.
Yeah.
That box art Mega Man in Street Fighter X Tekken was funny. Putting Wii Fit woman in Smash Brothers, no. See the difference there? I don't know why they would have put it in there.
Okay.
I can see it as a marketing thing, but not much else.
Yes, very true. Rob, another question for you. A mediocre man said, can I have some advice on building a solid gaming room?
Well, it's taken me a long time to get the one that I've got. Through many iterations, and as a matter of fact, one of my favorites was always the first one that I had back when I lived with my parents. Number one thing you're going to need for a solid gaming room, to be honest, is a comfortable chair, a really comfortable place to sit. That's huge. I mean, the picture, you get whatever size TV you can get, you know. If you only have a stereo receiver amp, what I used to do is on spring cleaning days, I don't know if they have them in the States. In Canada, we have what they call spring cleaning day, where you can put out whatever you want on the curb and the garbage people will take it away, or other people will often come by and pick it up. I used to pick up sets of speakers either from Goodwill or on spring cleaning day, and I had about 10 speakers all wired in series down either side of my games room when I was a kid. And so that way, even though it wasn't surround, it was still a good amount of stereo sound and varying levels of bass and treble coming from the various sizes of speakers. So, you know, lots of speakers for good sound, a comfy chair, as good a TV as you can get. The rest of it is just up to your enjoyment. Just sit down and play your games and enjoy the fact that you can do so. Now, if you're talking about a forward-moving man cave like what I've got now, get to know someone, an electronics distributor like Best Buy or Future Shop, so that they can help you save money on things like speaker mounts and speaker cable of a high quality and things like that. That's the best advice I can give. when I built mine, it was just I mounted the speakers in the ceiling so that I could have my surround sound without having to worry about where the wires would run, because then you can buy this stuff at IKEA. It's this white plastic tubing kind of that's got a slit in the front, and you can stick it to the wall, and you almost can't see it at all, and you can run the wires up, and you just press them into it, and then you can run it molding at the bottom, and you'll never see it there, and then you just poke the wire out of that stuff into the back of the speaker on the speaker mount at the ceiling, and it's just a quick, easy way to do a really nice, clean-looking setup. So there you go.
From Rodman himself, that's how you do an awesome game room. Now, KH Maggot 67 says, question for everyone: favorite horror movie / series?
Ooh, I like this question.
So let's start with Xander and work our way around. So Xander, you first.
Probably one of my favorite horror movies. Actually, it's funny because I was mentioning this on another podcast this morning. I was a guest on, but it's an older movie. It's a silent movie. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
What's that?
Ooh, nice one.
I've heard of that one. It's a classic.
It's so creepy. That German style of filmography and just the way they use the shadows and just the story itself, with the crazy slideshow and freak show and stuff like that. It's really, really good. And it's pretty much free domain, so I'm pretty sure you could look it up on YouTube and watch the whole thing now.
Xander, we could basically download it and redub it. Think about it.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
We could call it the Excess Gaming Podcast, the movie.
Yeah.
Starring Xander, James Gruesome, and an entire cast of other people who should not even be in this movie.
Cool.
Robman, what's yours?
It's a close tie. I really, really love the Evil Dead movies, but personally, I'm gonna have to go with the Puppet Master movies that were released by Full Moon Entertainment. I really have a soft spot for those. I love them so much. Way before I saw Evil Dead, so.
Yeah, they're freaking cool movies. I'm still a huge fan of Evil Dead though, so that's my thing. Oh, and special note, at the Comic-Con that I went to, they had Bruce Campbell there.
Oh,
you should.
Did you
Or not person.
I didn't get any.
you could just hear the sigh of jealousy over there.
We did get an interview because he was only there via satellite, so I couldn't just hey Bruce, answer my questions, you satellite man, you.
So he wasn't actually there.
He wasn't actually promoting a movie via satellite.
Oh,
So Anina, speaking of via satellite, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, it's a hard question. I'm a big fan of psychological horror. Massive fan of psychological horror. I think, can't really say an absolute favorite, but in the top tier would be Pan's Labyrinth, Orphanage. I love Orphanage. The really old Stephen King ones Pet Sematary is brilliant. 70s Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a masterpiece. Love that one. The 70s version, not the remake. And I really like Saw, the first Saw, just the first one.
The one there somewhere.
Yeah, those. Yeah, Evil Dead is great as well. But I would probably say, Pan's Labyrinth is currently towards the top.
And
Love
Nick, what about yours?
I'm really not into horror movies. I like the Evil Dead movies, but the two movies that I really enjoy are Necronomicon, the black and white silent Call of Cthulhu that somebody made in the 90s or 2000s. Trying to remember when it was. But honestly, my favorite movie has got to be, I know it's a comedy more than anything, but Dracula Dead and Loving It.
That was funny.
He doesn't like to scare, he more likes to share. So what about you, Sarah?
I'm not really much of a horror person, but Pan's Labyrinth I actually quite enjoyed, even though it's one of those movies that I can never really see again because it scared me. There's another one. I just forgot what it was. Crap. somebody mentioned it, and then I was like, yeah, that one. Oh, right, Cabin in the Woods. I actually really liked that one because it's kind of horror, but it kind of takes it into something else as well. Just like, I kind of like psychological horror more than like grody horror, because psychological horror feels like it makes more of an effort to scare you. So, like, Prometheus, I will admit it was very good for horror, but I will never see that movie again. It was too intense, I can't do it again, so, yeah.
What about you, Jamie?
I gotta say, The Nightmare on Elm Street. I do like the remake too, because you gotta understand that it's two totally different versions of Freddy. It's not the same one. I love The Last House on the Left, simply because that was so... You didn't know who to root for. It's like, do you want the parents to win, or are they morally wrong in this, in what they're doing? And I have to say, I really love, like, psychological I don't know, I have to be careful with what movies I watch, simply because I'm really paranoid, and I freak out easily. Am I the only one who got, like, legitimately kind of freaked out by Orphan?
Never seen that one. Anyone else?
Because that was just terrifying.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the Guillermo del Toro films?
No, that was Orphanage. Orphanage is the Guillermo del Toro one, which is great. But Orphan was the it had a little girl, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Orphan wasn't
that
necessarily
was alright.
little girl that turned out to be a murderer.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the front picture, the picture on the cover of the box was the girl, and we were trying to figure out what was like freaky about it, and what it was is they mirrored her face. Is that the one?
Yeah, so it was perfectly symmetrical, and she had blacked out eyes.
I don't think she had blacked out eyes.
Yeah.
Like, Orphan wasn't really, like, holy, like, oh my god, holy fuck, terrifying. It was one of those movies where you sit back and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, it wasn't scary, it was just a whoa movie. It was
really intense, or?
It was pretty messed up. It's pretty intense. I loved it.
Okay.
And
I did enjoy The Orphan. I did enjoy that one because it is so messed up.
It is messed up, and I really want to cosplay the main girl and just walk around cons and just scare the shit out of people.
Oh, you know what? We've just got the cutest question from David Haffey, and I've just been trolled by Cramp tonight. He said, Burhan, if you could have any hairstyle, what would you have? Git.
Aww.
David Haffey said, how did Robman meet Mrs. Robman?
Aww.
We have answered this before in the previous one, but Rob, take it away.
Well, Tamara was in animation class with Johnny, and at the time was dating someone else. But I remember walking into the classroom a couple times and kind of, hello. And I noticed that she had drawn a picture of Duckman on her desk, and I remember walking over and saying, oh, hey, did you draw that? And she
I was so shy.
turned beet red and kind of looked away. Oh, well, it's really good. And so, to not feel like a dirty, nasty, rapist, stalker bastard, I walked away because I felt like I was this horrible person. But no, after they graduated, Johnny got her a job at Butterfly Software, and that was a fiasco. But while she was there, he set the two of us up on a date. So he took us out to a shopping mall in Richmond, which was sort of like one of those Chinese shopping malls. So all the shops have like imported goods and foods from Asia and all that stuff. And then ditched us. So we would be forced to talk to each other. And we were looking through laser discs of 80s horror movies, already a bonus. And she asked me, you played a lot of the original Nintendo, right? And I kind of, I'm listening. And she said, do you remember a game called Blaster Master? Yes, I definitely do. And she said, I could never beat the crab boss at the end of level 5. He's always spitting those bubbles. I was pretty much ready to propose right there. That would have been creepy, but I was ready to propose.
I love you, and you're never going to see me again? Oh.
Yeah, but that was pretty much what got us together. That and your little Marvin the Martian figurine. That's why John put us together in the first place.
That's why he suggested.
Yeah, because we're both fanatics for Marvin the Martian, so that was the other thing that got us together.
Oh. So
and anything to add, dear?
You've got a very nice story there for you guys, and you've been together ever since.
Yeah, been 14 years, 10 years married.
Oh.
So there you go, guys. You got a nice little story there with this amazing
Congratulations.
couple who keep going from strength to strength. Cramptonite says, "When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last?"
Do you eat them very slowly or do you crunch them very fast? Do you eat them by the bowlful? Smarties are a blast. But when you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last?
There you go, Cramptonite.
No.
You've been trumped. Gaming Pegasus says he loves using Little Mac because he loves punching fuckers in the teeth. Good for you. Good for you. So here's another question for you, Rob. You've started your own YouTube channel, Rob Man World. Tell us a little bit about that channel itself, because I know you've been doing like your little Let's Plays and stuff on Twitch as well, because you've been playing a lot of Destiny and other games, of course, on that. So firstly, when is the Twitch channel coming back? And secondly, the YouTube channel, what do we expect from that?
Okay, well, at present, the Twitch channel is twitch.tv/RobManWorld, all one word, RobManWorld. What I do on that is stream. I've been streaming a lot of Destiny. I do intend to move into other games when I can afford it. I intend to pick up Evil Within and Alien Isolation, and I want to stream those games from start to finish. So each time I stream, I'll pick up from where I left off and continue on. And I want to share the reactions and the couch here and all of the rest of it with everyone, so that we can all sort of enjoy it together. Right now, my YouTube channel, which is also youtube.com/RobManWorld, all one word. There's a theme appearing here for those that notice it. The very perceptive of you will see it. And that's right now mostly archives of the Twitch channel. But I do also intend to do some like vlog type stuff, some videos on my own, just nothing fancy, nothing like what John does, because that man has editing skills of a god. But I mean, mine won't look polished and fancy. Mine will be just shitty little webcam vlogs of comic book stuff I'm into, music I'm enjoying. If I need to rant about something political or something that's going on in the world, if I have input on things like that, I'll put those on there as well. Whatever people would like to see, really. I mean, tell me. But yeah, do join in the Twitch streams. They've been a lot of fun. I haven't done one in a while, and I know Cramptonite and Maggot and you guys, you've been waiting for me to get back on. I'm sorry. I know. But I do intend to start again soon. And join in. I always read the chat, and I always make sure to, chat back, answer questions when I can, and joke around. And usually it's just me being a complete idiot playing Destiny, and that's about it. So yeah, that's what's going on there.
There you go, guys. And Crampton says, "When you eat your Smartie," oh yeah, that's the one. "I doff my cap to you, good sir." There you go. You finally.
Oh, thank you kindly, good sir.
I doff my cap. I actually saw a T-shirt with that on. I wanted that.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I doff my hat to you, sir. So, any other questions from the panel here for Rob? Xander, you got a question?
Let's see. Get back to me.
Okay. David Haffey says, "Not sure if Rob stays up to date with comics, but have you kept up to date with the Mega Man Sonic crossover on Archie Comics?"
That was quite a while ago, but they're doing another one, and I can't wait for it to start. I am keeping up to date with my Mega Man comics and with most of Gotham City in the New 52. I haven't been able to empty my saver in a while, once again due to financial restrictions. But yes, I do my best to keep up. The Robin Rises side story they're doing for Batman and Robin and a lot of the Batman stories is incredible. They did that 0 year over a year there for all of the Gotham set. That was incredible. And the Mega Man Sonic crossover was spectacular, which then led back to, I don't collect Sonic, but I've collected the ones that had Sonic and Mega Man. And I'm following Mega Man through right now. They're doing, where I'm at is the Dawn of X. And I'm working my way through that mini-series that involves the Time Rift and the Emerald Spears going through and starting a lot of the uprisings against the Reploids and Mavericks for the humans. So it's incredible. Anyone that is a Mega Man fan that is not currently collecting the Mega Man Archie comics, highly recommend track down the trade paperbacks to get you up to date and get into them, because the guys writing it are doing an excellent job of tying classic series canon in with a lot of the stuff that they mentioned in a lot of the manga that was released, the Mega Man Ultra Mix and Mega Mix. A lot of touches from that, as well as their own flavor. So it's a really good Mega Man comic series. I really couldn't recommend it enough. And the Sonic Mega Man crossovers they've done have really brought both characters and how they're represented in the games together, and let both sides really interact the way that you know that they would. So Robotnik and Wily got along really well, but still kept trying to stab each other in the back. Sonic and Mega Man had their initial confusion about each other because, Sonic always fights robots, and Mega Man is, anyone that tries to get in, cause trouble, or that he's told is causing trouble, he'll try and stop. Then they work together, and it was excellent. It's just, I could just spout all day about it. Go out, read them, buy them, enjoy them.
And K Maggot 67 said, Rodman recognizes me.
I've seen you in my. I'm pretty sure you're the same maggot that's been in my stream, my live stream chat. If not, I'm sorry for the confusion, but I think you're the same. Not many people use the name Maggot, you see.
Yeah, I believe it is the same Maggot, and KH Maggot is actually giving you a big thank you on that one. Now, Gaming Pegasus 187 says, Rob, will you be able to stream Mega Man games in the future?
I'm looking into it. I'm not sure how it'll work out. I am hoping, and maybe people can give me advice on this, if I use the HDMI input on my Xbox One, I'm wondering if I can stream whatever's coming in through that. Because if that's the case, then when I can afford a Retron 5, I could put that through the HDMI into the Xbox One, stream my Twitch through that, and I'd be able to use my classic controllers and cartridges to play the Mega Man series and the Super NES ones, which I would very much love to do. So, if people have any input, give it to me. Otherwise, I am researching ways to do so, because I know a lot of people would like to see that. I warn everyone now, I am not a speedrunner. I am not, amazingly proficient at Mega Man games. I love them. I love playing them. But beyond 1 and 2, I tend to be really bad at them. So don't expect me to be some amazing super whiz kid that can run through them without getting hit. That ain't going to happen. But if you enjoy watching me play them and then swear a lot and throw the controller around, that's the stream for you.
Cram Tonight says, Robman, are you going to start doing a pre-game beer guide? If so, can we attempt to drink with you?
I would love for that to happen, to be honest with you guys. I would absolutely adore doing like a, this week I'm going to try this kind of beer, and, we can all compare when the stream starts. That'd be awesome. I'm not sure you guys will be getting the same kind of stuff in the States that I get in Canada. For those that are in the States, we can try. But yeah, that's a very good idea. Thank you, Crampton. I'm going to look into doing that.
And going on from there, Jamie, do you have a nice little question for Rob, man?
I know that you mentioned the New 52. I'm a big Harley Quinn fan. Do you read any of the stuff that she's in?
I haven't as of yet, to be honest. So I haven't gotten into Suicide Squad or the Harley Quinn standalone comic. I do
make
have
a suggestion?
Yes.
Don't.
See, that's what I've been worried about, is the thing. I loved Harley Quinn's character in the Batman the Animated Series. I thought it was fantastic.
Right.
But I'm starting to notice that it's one of those characters that they're kind of overusing and doesn't necessarily hold the original vision. And
No, they've completely killed her. And it's like they've just completely thrown away what she used to be, and they've brought in this scantily dressed shell of Harley, and it's really sad for fans like me who love her so much, and it's really sad to see her go. So if you do like Harley, I would suggest not reading the New 52. But
well, me and Anita were having the same conversation at the con today, because we were like, we find that the He's actually a lot more tasteful than the new Harley because they've totally like slutted her up. Where we were saying that that's not in her character, it's not the way that she is, but they've just done it to make her kind of eye candy.
The old bodysuit was sexy without being vulgar or revealing.
Yeah, I mean, she was more cutesy. I mean, she didn't really... It wasn't seducing men like, you know, like Poison Ivy. Like, that's part of Poison Ivy's character, is the, you know, overpouring of sexuality. When Harley's wasn't. She was more cutesy and, you know, cutesy and mischievous and, you know, playful.
Yeah,
and she was so devoted to Joker, so why would she need to be so...
Well, now, therein,
I
do understand that she has realized that, you know, the joke. She's stopped following the Joker and chasing him around because she realized he was abusive and not good for her. But I think they went too far the other way with the I'm reclaiming my femininity and all that. And I think they've turned her basically into a scantily clad female Deadpool at this point, haven't they?
They have pretty much. Even with the whole understanding that the Joker was abusing her thing, I think that's kind of awesome because she's kind of becoming her own character, not just revolving around the Joker, even though the Joker obsession was part of her thing.
No, I respect that they did that, but I don't think that they should have. A lot of women, when they get out of a bad relationship, try to take ownership of their, you know, themselves by dressing differently or getting tattoos or changing their hair, whatever they do.
Right.
But I think they did that wrong with her. She wouldn't do that.
I think they did too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
Definitely
one of the canon things that she does is like she cuts off the Joker and like plasters it onto someone else or whatever, and then like she like fucks Deadshot in a laundromat, and I'm like, really?
Well,
wait a minute.
Really?
No,
cut off the
Joker
Joker's face. That's actually wrong. But yeah, go on, Rob.
No, Joker had his own face cut off by Puppet Master at the start of one of the story arcs in the Batman series.
Death of the
when
family.
He escaped Arkham, cut off and nailed to the wall. But then while it was floating around before it went into custody, I think Harley got her hands on it for a while, and that's when that happened. It eventually ended up in Gotham Police Department lockup for evidence, and then was stolen again for the death of the family story arc, where the Joker infiltrated the Batcave in the Bat family and tried to separate Batman from his support network of Nightwing and Robin and Red Robin and all them, because he feels that they make him weak, and he wants Batman to be the original solo act, very tough guy that he originally fought. And then the face disappeared, and Joker's daughter got her hands on it now. Whoever she is, who appeared out of nowhere, she's wearing it.
It's a new version of Jula Dent,
right.
The 52 version.
And when Harley saw Joker's daughter wearing it, when Joker's daughter joined the Suicide Squad, there was a brawl that ensued because she didn't want to see the face in the first place, and secondly, really didn't want someone else wearing it.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Okay, well, I didn't know that.
So it seems
I hope I have established my comic nerd credibility.
Well, I hadn't delved into like the new because of what they were doing to Harley, and simply because of the scandal that on like Suicide Prevention Week, they opened up, like this was a while back, they opened up a contest where to get into drawing comics for them, all you had to do was send in a few panels of Harley Quinn trying to commit suicide in different ways.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was very tasteless and badly done.
It was horrible. Of course,
I'm also mad at the new 52 for what they did to Lobo. For those that don't know, the main fragging man.
Yeah, they totally changed
the main
him.
fragging man is the main fragging man, okay? I don't care who you are. He's big. He's covered in muscles. He's massive. He's got an attitude. He smokes a cigar, and he's a badass with a giant meat hook wrapped around his arm on a chain. And then they bring in this Twilight-looking, skinny, sparkly motherfucker, and he's like, no, I'm the real Lobo, and he's been faking it the whole time. I don't know. You're a fairy little waif boy. Get the fuck out of my Lobo comic. And now the first Lobo comic they've done his standalone. He kills who we've called Lobo on the first 2 pages.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I didn't read that at all. I was just like, this is just so I'm just gonna.
You can't.
Okay,
I understand a costume change.
Right.
Yeah, Sorry, I was just going to say, I understand a costume change. That's fine. You want to put him in a slightly different biker outfit. Lobo's had other costumes. The new 52, there were a lot of new costumes. You cannot turn Lobo into Edward freaking Cullen.
Yeah.
Right.
Edward freaking
It's
Cullen
just-
doesn't want to be Edward.
Pretty much. Like on
The guy who
the
played
yeah. Well, on the topic of comics, what was Rob Man? What was your favorite comic? Like, what was your favorite comic or graphic novel?
At present or when I was a kid?
Oh, of all time.
Wow. Oh, my Lord. That is... Wow, really? That's like asking what your favorite air molecule is. I mean, that's a big question. Holy crap.
You can have a few. You can have a few.
Okay, as a child, my favorite comic series was Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. And it was a pig version of Spider-Man. And all of the characters were animal versions. So there was the Hobgobbler, and he was a turkey. And there was Mooster Mysterio, and there was... they were all just different animals. I loved it. I used to read it every chance I could get. I have almost the entire series. These days, it's so difficult. There's been so much good stuff, but I think to present from what I've read now, because I'm doing a lot of catching up, I think Killing Joke is still, to me, one of the most impacting and powerful I've ever read. And can I just, as a side note, Death in the Family was close, except that they brought him back, which they shouldn't have done. And they even said that on the original print of the graphic novel for that. They said on the back, a death like this in a comic series is unbelievable, but if they ever try to bring Jason Todd back, it's really tacky. Yeah. Their own writers said that, and then they brought him back. But Killing Joke is so powerful and such an amazing story. And for the various origin stories of the Joker, I think that was the one that hit me the hardest.
Yes.
And just
I
gave me a whole new perspective. Yeah.
Rob, you've got a question here for Gaz Cormac. It was aimed for Johnny, but I want to see you answer this. Have you ever been thrashed by Johnny at Street Fighter? Has Johnny ever thrashed you so much in Street Fighter and then ended up throwing you a couple of matches out of pity?
No. John doesn't do pity. John does cold, hard winning. There is no such thing as pity in that man's soul when it comes to Street Fighter. He dominates and he wins. I have beat him at Street Fighter Alpha 2, I think 3 times, where I actually won both rounds, that he always denies and refuses to acknowledge. My wife saw one of them. My friend Lisa Yole saw another one. But he will still say that he was hungover, or he was drunk, or we were drunk, or we were on drugs, or the sun was in his eyes, or whatever other excuse. But he refuses to admit it happened. But no, he does not throw pity rounds. He absolutely never throws pity rounds. So if you're going to play Street Fighter with him, be ready for a lot of mockery and cruelty, because he will not lose, and then he'll make fun of you. So
you wear the shades of denial.
Oh yes, there are the shades of denial, the cloak of shame, and he. That's the real thing. Sorry, just so you know, that's a real thing. When we played back in the day, at one point he got so vicious in his mockery that he brought this knitted Afghan off his couch, draped it around my shoulders after a particularly crushing loss for me, and then put a pair of sunglasses on my eyes. And he said, "You're wearing the sunglasses of denial and the cloak of shame." And then he picked up a body pillow he'd been lying on, put it across his back as if it was a pair of wings, and ran around the room flapping it and said, "And these are the wings of God, because I cannot lose. I am a god of Street Fighter." And ran around flapping the wings and laughing.
That is great.
This is the truth.
I need to see this. I would love to see this, because I would probably.
He still owns the cloak of shame.
Yeah.
The cloak of shame is eternal.
Dude, I would wet myself laughing over this. This would. In other news, Gaz asked as well, what Marvel hero or villain would you like to see make an appearance in a Marvel movie that hasn't already been featured in one?
I want to see the bloody Hobgoblin, and I want to see him done friggin' right. Hobgoblin never gets enough respect or press. It's always Green Goblin, Green Goblin, Green Goblin, Green Goblin. There's never the Hobgoblin, and I don't want to see any of this Power Rangers metal suit crap, and I don't want to see Osborn's kid in a pair of ski goggles on a flying snowboard. I want to see the Hobgoblin glider with the bag full of pumpkin bombs, the yellow monster-looking face, the orange cape, the full nine. That's what I want to see. Marvel, you do so well with your movies. Can you pull your heads out of your asses and do just that one for me, please?
I love you.
Rant.
So there you go, Gaz.
What did you hey Rob, what did you think about the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Haven't seen it yet.
I did. I watched it.
I thought it was good. But I'm not really a comics person.
Sorry. The reason I blow up about Hobgoblin is because I've got him tattooed on my back, and I've got every figure of him I could find, and I've got an actual, like a porcelain bust of him in my collection, and they never respect him. They never respect him. I want my fucking Hobgoblin.
By the way, Gaming Pegasus says Johnny can be a dick, laughing out loud.
Oh, he absolutely can, but that's why I love him.
David Matthews says, amen Hobgoblin as well to you. But yeah, go on, Rob.
Oh, I was going to say, Johnny absolutely can be a dick, but that's what I love about him, because when I'm not the one on the receiving end, it's hilarious.
Wow.
Oh, Johnny, I love that, Johnny. It's like, I remember the first day that I met Johnny, when me and him were having, I think it was me, him, and Xander were having like a live Skype chat, and the guy just starts cursing like no one's business. I was just sitting there, I was like, oh, I'm meeting Johnny Millenium, the Happy Console Gamer. He's going to be awesome. And then Johnny was like, fuck that guy. And me and Xander were just looking at each other, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, no, we swear like sailors. We swear like sailors on our own. It's horrifying.
I know, it's like, with you, when me and you would chat, I would expect it, but with Johnny, it was just like, he has this kind of thing on the YouTube channel where he lets it loose a bit more now. But before, he wouldn't really swear that much. He would just be like, you know, kind of Mr. Clean-cut, nice guy. But on the Skype call, he was just swearing like a sailor with me and Xander, and I was just like, after we finished the call with him, I just went to Xander, I was like, he was cursing a blue streak. And Xander was sitting there just cracking up. He's like, that's Johnny.
That is to a T.
The thing is like Johnny started opening up about that on the All-Gen Gamers, the whole love talk. That's when you saw that totally different side of Johnny, and that's when I was just like, oh man, this is
amazing. He's see, we were very careful, and he was very careful when he started the show, just because he just can't. You know, you don't know how people are going to react. You don't know anyone who's watched any of the outtakes. You're starting to see the real Johnny. In the last little while, over the last year, I'd say we've really, on our 2-man episodes, it's really started to come out. Like, we're relaxing into it and accepting the fact that, yeah, we're rough around the edges. We both swear a lot. It's what happens. But somehow, because of the way we do it, we hope it's not as offensive as much as it is kind of funny and kind of stupid. We are kind of stupid. So, yeah, this is how we do things.
But that's...
Yeah, go on, Nick.
I'm sorry. But that's one of the things that I like about watching you and Johnny on Happy Console Gamer, and I'm sorry if I interrupted. You guys act like yourselves. When you mentioned AVGN earlier, that's a character, but with you guys, the realism is there, and that's what I enjoyed watching so much. That's the pull of the show more than anything else.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you.
Basically get to, like, see a lot of who you guys are. It's like everything that every part of who I know you as is the same as everything that I know you on the show. And there's one big shout out I have to give to Rob as well. He wore I Got Gameplay t-shirt on an episode of Happy Console Game, and I remember this when Xander was like posting me like a clip of the video. He goes, "Look what Rob did! Look what Rob did!" I was like, "What was he? Oh, good, he's wearing the t-shirt." Because I was literally like begging the guy to like put the t-shirt on, like on the show and stuff, because we just wanted to see him wear it basically.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be on again. Don't worry about that. You'll see it more than once.
But it's like a fun little thing as well, because it's like we made it onto the show in some retrospect, you know.
And
yeah,
did I mention that a big part of the panel at Portland there were three big announcements that were made at the Portland panel that had the room just cheering like mad. The first one was Johnny and Alpha's podcast, understandable. The second one was I mentioned that I've been doing some voice work for an anime series called Kingdom, which is coming up from Funimation. So if you dare listen to the dub, you will hear me on some of the ancillary characters and things. And the last one was when I announced the Silent Hill TV series and that it's being worked on by yourself and a very dedicated and passionate group of fans, and that it's being cleared by Konami to make sure that it follows canon, unlike the movies, which really didn't. And they just went nuts. And I made sure to mention, I got gameplay and Retro Unlimited and all of that, and Michael Burhan by name. I said, look for Michael Burhan. He's attached to the project. We will be doing Indiegogo or Kickstarter soon. And then I said, and also if it does get funded, you will be seeing me as one of the main characters for at least the first season. And people just went nuts. So that has been announced at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. People are aware of it and are waiting with bated breath to give money to it. Just so you know.
That's the great thing about this project, and I'm basically for most everybody out there who would know me, and Rob knows me a lot because he thinks I'm trying to kill myself at the moment. I work very, very hard. I've got basically, when I started the Silent Hill project, I wasn't really doing much. Then suddenly I had an influx of game companies throwing games at me for reviews, expo tickets to go to all these expos to start interviewing people because people saw my interviews, and loads of other things thrown at me. And I was just like, whoa, I've got to do all this stuff, and I'm trying to juggle everything at the same time, and also keep my gym up as well, because I basically was so stressed out and I was doing too much. I ended up tearing my back. To the point where my back was kind of slanted, people. It wasn't fun. It wasn't nice to do. And now that I've actually got some time this week, because everything's slowing down after tomorrow. Oh, well, after today, shall I say, because it's today in the UK. After Sunday, I'm hoping to get a few more interviews and then go into post-production, edit all my stuff, and shoot the remainder footage that we need for the pitch video for the Silent Hill Genesis project. Secondly, we are putting together a nice little animation piece that's being spearheaded by Sarah and Tam, who are working on that side of things for it. And our actor who's playing Harry Mason, James Doherty, is going to be doing the voiceover for that. Once everything is put together, I am hoping, and I keep saying this every single week because I keep trying to get this done, I'm hoping next week that we have the Kickstarter ready and given to everybody to take a look at so everyone can approve on it, because it's a team effort. I will not sign off on anything unless the team approves. It's the way that we do things. And, basically, Brokeback Mountain Burhan, yes, Crampton. Basically,
what?
he goes Brokeback Mountain Burhan. I think he's asking me a question if I had sex on a mountain Brokeback. But yeah, it came up in the chat. I was like, really? And if once that all gets done, we will then push the project on, and I'm going to give it a 60-day. So we're going to do it on Indiegogo. It's going to be a 60-day partial funding. What it means is, if we don't make the funding, or if we go over the funding limit and we get a lot more money, we keep it all. And the reason why I want to do this is, whatever we make out of this, even if it's a little bit, we've got, I'm going to try and put a realization for the pilot, even if it's a 5-minute little snippet that we can do to get this pilot over to Konami. Yeah, so they can basically say yes or no to the project, because we worked really hard on this and I don't want to see it go to waste. If we go over, it also means that I can actually go to the various departments after, all the funding's been used to finance the shooting, the filming, etc. And I can pay people, such as our art department, such as our actors, our very talented actors who want to be on the project, and I can use people that I want to use for the project. Because at the moment, I've delayed casting everyone apart from 3 actors, because I've got to make sure that, one, because we want to shoot in Vancouver, that we basically have enough funding so that we can actually choose the people that we want. 2, if we do have more than enough, then I can say, you know what, I'm going to pick this UK actor because I want to use that person. I know that person, I know they're good, and bring them over to shoot their bits, because I've got people in mind for certain roles. Now the only few roles that have been casted, which we'll talk about, is Harry Mason, is of course his lovely wife Jodie as well. Well, she's not his wife in this prequel pilot, of course, at the time, so she's casted in it. The mayor, who Rob basically is playing the character of, which is a brand new character for the show, and it's someone that me and Rob have basically put together and basically worked together on in order to build this character up. And those are the characters that we're using so far. Now, there are a total of 13 characters I want to use on this project. So we're going to basically do that. Once the Kickstarter happens, I'm going to start looking at stuff like doing live streams, like basically working with the cast and crew and basically putting together Q&A sessions and stuff, so everybody can talk to us and we can get info from everyone. We don't want to leave anybody out. We want to talk to everybody and try and make sure that the fans approve of what we're doing. And another person that I can't forget as well who's on the project is Dusty J. Kelly, aka Fungo. He's been a great help for us. He's helped us research. He's been one of our first-hand guys who's helped us put everything together for the project, as well as Rob has been a huge resource. Him and his lovely wife Tam here have been a great resource in terms of the project. So it's a big labour of love, guys. We are doing it. I haven't mentioned it as much as late, but we are doing it, and I'm praying to God this week is gonna be when we get this Kickstarter up and running, this Indiegogo up and running to get this project out. And I also want to give to one of my screenwriting partners a big shout out to Marcus Ieko, who's got a film in production with Bruce Campbell called Welcome to Purgatory. They had the panel today at the MCM Comic Con. Congratulations on him, Tony Cook, and all the gang basically on that. And I will be working with Marcus as well on another project coming up in November called the 48-Hour Film Project. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, including this series, and what I'm going to do once the series is funded, that's it, total dedication that's going to be set on that. That means I'm going to end up having to pause my YouTube channel, pause everything else that I'm doing, and focus directly on making sure this pilot works, because I don't want another Gotham. If for those of you who've seen Gotham, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
So we had a long talk about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It's not going to be like, look, Pyramid Head. Oh my God, this is Pyramid Head before his Pyramid Head. His name is Jared.
Everybody's Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
20 Pyramid Heads.
Well, this is like Oprah goes to Silent Hill. You get a Pyramid Head. You get a Pyramid Head. You get a Pyramid Head. Everybody gets a Pyramid Head. There's a Pyramid Head under everybody's chair.
So many Pyramid Heads, they're cute.
I just have this image of Pyramid Head just strolling in with a cup of coffee, casually. Right?
He's wearing a business suit.
Yeah.
He's wearing a business suit, and then says to him,
he's wearing a tweed jacket with leather patches on the elbows, yeah, and he's got a cup of coffee.
And they're going,
good morning,
who's
everyone.
that guy? I wonder who he is.
Little pair of round specs perched on the top of the pyramid. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad you could all make it.
Yeah.
He has a fancy apron on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I just want to put it out there. Me and Rob are part of a group. Me and Rob and Xander, actually, because Xander just joined us. We're part of a group called Buff Brothers. Michael Yanacito, Michael Wyatt, the head of our group, Mr. Muscle Yoga, as we call him, wants me to plug the group, basically, because he wants to open it up to everybody else out there. If you want to join us, you've got to be serious in terms of your workout regime. It's every week. Rob's coming back into the fold in terms of what he's doing, because he's been out with a hernia. So, he's coming back into the fold, basically doing his workout. And this guy's a machine. He looks fucking lean when he's on. Most people see him in his muscle shirts. You know what I'm talking about, Cramp, tonight. You've been telling me how sexy this man looks in his muscle shirts. So he's doing that. Xander's joined us as well. If you want basically someone who can help you lose weight, who can give you a very nice diet plan and basically help you learn how to train properly and use your body effectively, Mr. Michael Yanacito can do it. And Buff Brothers is a great place to join. It's a great group to talk with us about it, and you get loads of fun little things that you can do as well, and a nice little community. If you're serious, give Michael Yanacito a message on Facebook, facebook.com/Michael Yanacito, or you can just have a word with myself, of course, or Rob, and we'll talk to him for you as well. But for those who aren't serious in losing weight and stuff, don't bother, because he'll get very annoyed at me, and he'll beat me. But saying that, I've gone from 16.5 stone to 11.45 stone. That's like 160 pounds from almost like 300 pounds.
Now let's also get another thing out there right now. Like when Mike says serious, he means serious. Like when I started with Yanacito first a ways back, and I downloaded an app called Fat Secret onto my phone. I weigh everything I eat. I register it in there. I have to maintain a certain level of protein, of carbs, of calories, and then he sends me a workout regime to follow for 6 out of the 7 days of the week. And I lost 35 pounds in 2 months with this guy when I first started, and it's unbelievable. But you have to follow what he says, and follow his rules. And you check in every Saturday morning. You weigh in, and then Saturday is swine day. It's the one day of the week you can eat whatever the hell you want. But you must be dedicated. You can't sort of do this for a week and then not, and then do it for another week and then not, and expect results. He'll get you results, but you have to dedicate yourself to this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
and think about it, guys. I basically was someone who. And this is another thing, and I'm gonna talk about this extra little thing here. Rob is the guy that basically, he motivated me. That the Happy Console Gamer movie, I talked about the fact that how he motivated me through that. He motivated me again when I wanted to lose weight. My dad passed away from diabetes, and his body was failing him basically, and it was a very, very bad situation in the sense I basically could have gone down the same road if I didn't do something about it. And I remember doing an episode of I Got Gameplay with Rob and saying, hey, I need to lose some weight. Rob goes, I've got a guy, well, let me introduce you to him. And he introduced me to Michael, and we hit it off. And I joined the group, and I went at it really hard. And at the moment, I'm in very good lean shape. I'm basically, even after I tore my back, I'm in very, very good shape still, and it's the point where I don't have belly fat. I can see my abdominals. I've gone to the fact now where I've lost a lot of weight. The change is seamless, and it's a great thing to do. It's, if you're really serious, you could be just like the both of us and lose, because this guy is a genius. He is the way he does things, his methodology. And the fact that he cares. Wouldn't do it. Yeah. He wouldn't ask you to basically do anything if you didn't care. And he takes a lot of his time, his life, and his effort to talk to you and help you figure out what you need to do. I've had a lot of people, who've just said, oh, it's too hardcore, I'm not going to do it. But I've had others like myself, like Rob, who've stuck through it through thick and thin, and we've seen the results. Within, I think I started losing with it immediately. Within 6 months, I dropped weight severely because
you've got to remember though, you were a wrestler, so you were in really solid shape for a long time. Your body returned to that faster than most people, so they shouldn't expect as amazing a results as you've managed. For everyone, especially if they're the first time they've started doing a routine like this. However, I've pretty much fallen back to square one. I am back up to 226 pounds as of this morning. So I started at 225 when I started the program. I will be posting regular weekly updates, not only in Buff Brothers, and Mike and I have which gets very confusing, have a iMessenger chat that we do. I will start putting them up on my actual Facebook as well, so that people can see. So that those who aren't in the group, if they want to see, you will be seeing weekly updates every Saturday of the shape I'm getting into. I'll be putting up photos of, I've got a full weight set now in my basement, so I have zero excuses. I have an elliptical trainer that someone was throwing out that I saw in my neighborhood, picked it up and brought it home, and I've got a weight bench and some free weights and stuff. Zero excuses. I will do this, and you will see what his plan can do for you too. So I just want to let you guys know that. But Mike, Mr. B, your transformation has been unbelievable. It's stellar. Part of it because your body was used to that shape, but also because, man, this guy is a machine. He's posting videos. He's doing weights. He's doing like I don't think I've ever heard of him sleeping. But I mean, he'll be at the gym 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 8 at night, noon. It doesn't matter. This guy's in the gym crunching out sets like nobody's business. And look at the results. I mean, for God's sake, the guy looks like he could crack a walnut just by flexing his bicep. So, you know, it's there. It's there. The weight falls off and the muscle comes in. So,
Yeah, and
just
it's,
toss at him.
and it's the big thing, I think, with Rob as well. The one thing we've always done is when I post my photos and videos on my Facebook page, people see it, and a lot of people have said, especially those who followed me on Instagram as well, that they see all these results and say, that makes me want to go to the gym, that makes me want to do this. And I've already got a friend of mine talking with Michael at the moment to try and get him to lose weight, and even Xander's joined up, which, you know, Xander likes his 40s, so, you know, the fact that he's joined up, just that shows commitment there.
Well, I did want to mention one thing just from the short period of time that I've joined. You know, a lot of the things that some people get kind of intimidated about is changing their diet and doing, you know, that sort of thing, and it's easy to get intimidated, but it is a very solid team in the sense that they really work with you, and it doesn't feel like a competition. It's more of a support group, most importantly, and I think that's what really makes it shine.
Yeah, and that's the main thing at the moment as well. Part of that, and also us trying to convince James Gruesome to join in the team and the fun. But we'll get him eventually. But it's you know, we're not there to to push people and pester them and yell at them or anything like that. We're there to help support everybody else, because I know how hard it is to lose weight. My family, because I'm Turkish Cypriot, genetically we're fat. That's genetics. You know, what I've accomplished is against genetics. But I managed to do it, as Rob said, because one, I have basically I did this before, I accomplished this before. But secondly, it's because I have the urge to do it, and I'm very highly motivated. I will never back away and say, you know, I'm not going to do something. It takes a lot to push me down to the point where I'm going to go, I can't do this. Because I always believe you are only as good as what you put in. And every time I'm down, Rob's there to pick me up. If I'm feeling low, Michael and Rob and Xander and everybody are there to pick me up. And that's one thing I can attest to Buff Brothers, and it's also what I can attest to I Got Gameplay and everything here. The relationships for the show that we've all forged. It's amazing what I Got Gameplay has done, for all of us. You know, as I said, I went from idolizing Rob and Johnny to actually having Rob as a member of my family. You know, if you look at my Facebook, he's actually listed me as family there. That's a big thing for me. You know, Xander as well, brother from another mother. You know, me and him have become really close over the past. I think it's is it a year, Xander, that we've known each other for?
Yeah, it's about a year now.
About a year, yeah. Zach Latour as well. He couldn't be on the show today. Again, you know, family. It's Nino, who's just who joined our family quite recently, and she knows what I'm like. You know, we went to a con together today, and we were just it was mostly us being buddy for the whole time and just spending time together.
It was great fun.
Yeah,
It was it's just this is the most welcoming group I've gotten into, I have to say. Just like, hello, I don't know anyone, and then just to be accepted is fantastic. And yeah, me and Michael, it was weird. I just realised we've known each other for what, 6 months, something like that, and it didn't feel like we met in person the first time today, and that was weird. It felt like, yeah, I've met you loads of times, but we haven't actually in person.
She was there when I was making fun. I was sitting there in the press room making fun of this girl in the press room, winding
Poor
her
girl.
up chronic because she was just she was just getting wound up by me. She hated my guts, but I kept saying to her, you know, I can see the sexual tension right now, you and me. And Anina's just sitting there cracking up in the background. She goes, you're not this bad, and I Got Gameplay. I'm like, of course I'm this bad. And I'm sitting there making loads of dick jokes and stuff, and just basically saying to her, you and me, come on, You know, when is this gonna happen? When is us? I can see it. And she was just like, every time she had an issue with me changing t-shirts. I kept changing t-shirts just to piss her off. Back, she's like, "Why are you in a different t-shirt?" Yeah, it was winding her
Yeah,
up.
literally.
Freak out.
And like maybe one more hour, and she probably would have punched you.
Or
I
she
could
would
just
have
see it.
exchanged
She was
numbers, I
clenching.
think.
Clenching
Yeah.
her fists.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I think she's like praying to her god, whatever her god is, to like, please, can he not come back?
Yeah.
It's a fun experience, you know. But that's the funny thing. Anina was actually saying, she goes, that's part of your quirkiness, and this is the first time we've actually physically met each other, and we've hung out. You know, we had fun, we had food, we took the skyline and listened to some boring people talk about freaking skylines on this freaking skyline thing. It's like a shortcut to the Excel Center, and on it you've got these most boring actors on the planet.
They're not actors. They're someone they pulled off the street going. This is the this is the door, and you walk in, and the Olympics. And oh my god.
Yeah, in 1856, this was a pile of shit, and then we made it into a skyline, and we were just sitting there looking at each other, going, "When is this going to stop? Please stop." It's like chalk, but nails on a chalkboard. Please stop. And
Oh god.
but we had so much fun.
Worst thing was they kept calling it a flight. I'm like, this is not flight.
This is a cable car.
We're being suspended over the Thames. We're not flying.
Or anything.
Worst guide ever.
Exactly, worst tour guide ever. But also, I want to give a shout out to Dan Pettifer, who basically gave an Indian a ticket. Dan, I've got your money if you're listening. Make sure you pick it up. And he gave the ticket.
Also, thank you for sort of. We managed to cut the queue somehow into the Excel Center without no one minding.
Fully because I was press. I was just like, press. I can go anywhere I want.
I know. We were just like, we hate you. Damn you with your press tickets. Damn
you still need to find DC Douglas tomorrow and mail him to me, by the way.
I'm gonna
just stick him in the mailbox and put a stamp on his ass.
I'm gonna make him do a sexy biscuits for Dave tomorrow. Because that's what I do. I get these people to basically do videos for me, and then I get them at the end to do a sexy biscuits. My favourite being the writers of Cyanide and Happiness.
Yes, that was just brilliant.
Yeah, one of them just basically leered at us, looking at us like he was watching someone masturbate, and just in a very gruffy voice just went, "Sexy biscuits."
And then stormed off.
Yeah, he made me want to take a shower.
Just
you dirty,
remember
dirty
tell
boy.
him that Ada Wong says that she misses him.
Well,
So-
apparently, today he was reading porn fan fiction for people because they asked him to do it. He was reading out porn fan fiction.
Yes, he has a erotic Wesker fanfiction panel, and this was the last one, sadly. He's been doing it for, as long as I've been on his Twitter page, and that's the last one, and I'm like, damn it, I wanted to hear him read, some Wesker Ada, because that's my jam right there, Wesker Ada, oh hell yeah. Or Wesker Birkin, oh.
Well, what I'll do is I'll make sure that I attend in the morning to go and see him and do it, because apparently I can get an interview. One of the people have an in with him. That's a defo on that one. But yeah, ladies and gents as well, we are, we're family here, and it's a great experience, from Sarah, from Nick, who I met through my YouTube channel, for Jamie, who I stalked on Twitter, to everybody. I want to give a shout out to all the other guys who have been on I Got Gameplay. Samantha Jennings, I want to give a big shout out to Nikki as well, who's been on I Got Gameplay. Nick Abraham, Sean Mitchell, the guys that started this with me, Braden Mayhew, Brandon Ligon. I also want to give a shout out to two guys that, without them, this show probably wouldn't have gotten to a kind of a national radio level but at the same time, are guys that helped, because of certain decisions they made, recondition the show because, you know, of my decision to leave. One is I forgot what bloody hell his name is. Tony Mango, and you know he's the guy that gave me the I Got Gameplay brand, the name. And the other one is Mike Payton, who's a complete nut too. So yeah, Payton, you know, introduced the Mega Powers Radio, but in the end, you know, we left that place and we moved on and did our own thing. And you know that show has grown, and you know, despite all his negativity, the show has grown. We get like 1,000 listens per episode now. We are doing so well. We've had so many celebrity guests. Episode 101, we've got John Gamester coming up, guys. You know, and without the fans, without the listens, without each and every one of you, without everybody here, you know, we wouldn't be where we are. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody, and let each and every one of you guys know that you are this show. Everyone who listens to it is this show. And for each and every one of you, for Xander Scullion, for Rob Mann, for Anita Caskey, for Nick Endley, for Sarah Multimer, for Jamie Styles, for every person that has been on this show, and if I havenent mentioned you guys, for Chris Adace Mandace, I love you, brother, for believing in me. To everyone who's been on I Got Gameplay, for Funko, for Twin Perfect, Rossida, for John Gamester, of course, is going to be on the show, for Johnny Millenium as well, for Tam as well, for being on the show for us on our Valentine's Day special, and also appearing in here a little bit as well. For each and every one of you, just know that we've got gameplay. Have you?
Is it over?